let's do 3, 2, 1, go. All right.
Okay. You gonna
Ready?
say it?
Oh, I think we should say it together.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Ready?
Three,
Three,
two,
two,
one,
one,
go.
go. Hi, I'm Reba,
And I'm Katie, and this is What About Bob's?
a podcast about friendship first,
Then movies.
and if we're lucky, a bob on top.
We did it. We're
We did
back.
it. We're back.
How have things been going for you the last couple weeks?
Been good. Been busy. Just we've been like I've just been working on Reba Reed stuff, and then Jaden's also been busy with work. We had some friends this last weekend for summer solstice. We did
Oh,
like a little
cute.
like sunset party.
Did you do a
Watched
spell or
them.
something?
No, we just did like gathering and had food. I did have like a salad with yellow tomatoes in it and seasonal
Cute.
foods, I guess. So
When was that? When was the solstice?
solstice was officially Sunday, which was also Father's Day. So we just
Mm-hmm.
did our party Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we are officially on the other side of the solstice. So that means the days are getting shorter now.
Uh,
Yeah.
you know what, though? I am someone who usually is like a season behind where I want to be. So, like, usually in the summertime, I'm like starting to fantasize about fall. I was recently alerted to a thing that I think is from a cartoon, like an adult cartoon, like a Rick and Morty or like a Bob's Burgers or something. I've just like heard the soundbite of it, but it's called Summerween. Have you heard of Summerween?
Yes.
I
Yes.
am
I didn't
getting
know where it came from.
I don't either. I'm getting in and I don't know if that thing invented it or it's just the soundbite people use and they're like, it's called Summerween. I'm getting inundated with Summerween edits and I am like fiending. It's like so the vibe is it's halfway between it's the halfway mark to Halloween, which
Oh,
I
okay.
think is June or July 31st. But it's like backyard barbecue, but like slasher movies and thunderstorms and carnival rides
Mm,
at night. And it's
mm.
like a lot of the edits are with like the Stranger Things music in the background. And I am just like such a sucker for that. And I have been very into trying to force the Summerween vibes around here,
I love
which
that.
really helped. We were watching, we finished Widow's Bay, and I feel like Widow's Bay was really great at jumpstarting the Summerween
Oh,
vibes.
okay. I showed the trailer to Jaden. I was like, would you want to watch this with me? It looks really fun. I've heard really good things about it. You liked it?
I loved it.
Okay.
It was like kind of scary. I feel like there's one part in episode 2 which is like unmistakable. You'll know what it is when you get there, but like that I was like, "Oh, that was actually like very scary." But other than that, I feel like it's not super scary and I feel like even when it is, it's kind of the scary of the new I have maybe already said this to you, but like the new It movies. Did you ever watch
Um,
those?
mhm.
Where it's like scary, but it's like so like theatric. It's like so over the top that it's like
Yeah.
almost silly, but kind of scary. Um, like the grown-up version of like what a little kid thinks is scary, I feel like is what it
Yes.
is.
Okay.
But it's really fun, and Matthew Rhys is so good in it. And I also just found out that Matthew Rhys is British in real life.
He does what, a southern accent or
Yeah,
something in
it's
it?
like a East Coast accent, but it's
Okay.
like his Ryan and I were both remarking we saw an interview with him, and it's like he has a the type of British accent that I feel like I've never heard a person in real life have. It's like a Mary Poppins accent, like, oh, I was thrilled. It's like it's like not doesn't sound real, but it's his real accent. So that was fun. We finished that. We also just finished Hacks last night, season 5, the finale.
Okay. I started Hacks
Okay.
on my own because you had talked about it. So many people have been recommending it. I don't think I realized how old, like it started in 2022.
Yeah.
I
And
didn't
I
know
think
that.
people are think people are talking about it so much because it's the final season just came
I
out.
see.
And it's like the final season is also, they're like, this is the best season. Like it just keeps getting better. So I feel like that's,
Wow.
I mean, we just started watching it like a month ago too. Um, but I'd been hearing about it, but never felt like compelled to watch it
Yes.
until
Until
recently.
now. Yeah. I think maybe that's the thing. It's like everyone's on board for this season. It
Yeah.
just keeps getting better. But I'm already really liking season one. But
Yeah.
was surprised. I was like, oh, I didn't know how much I had to watch. I kind of started it without realizing there were five seasons.
Oops.
Oh, well, okay.
Well, the seasons aren't that long, but
No, it's
just like
quick.
how refreshing to have like such a female centric and like I don't know, talk about passing the Bechdel test. It's like it's just about
Yes.
like women and like their relationship with each other. It's so good.
It's so good. And I really love the actress that does Deborah Vance. Like
Uh-huh. Jean Smart, she's so good.
she's so good. She's so magnetic and like wonderful to watch.
I'm glad you're liking it.
Yeah. Okay, but you just went on a trip. I want to hear about it because you told me something very scary and possibly life-threatening
I
happened.
did go on a trip. I went on a little like extended weekender with Ryan and his family to southern Utah, Escalante. We stayed at an Airbnb there and just did like 3 nights. And we did some hikes, and there's a couple of really good restaurants down there. And I did my first slot canyon hike, which I'd never done before. And it was his family is like very like fitness outdoorsy. Like they are no strangers. I think Ryan and his dad had done this hike before and it was like, no, they're like, it's not a big deal. Like we've got water. Um
You've got water.
it
My
was
family's made that mistake before. Like, we have water and granola bars. And then,
we
like,
did
13 hours later, you're like,
no, we did not have enough water. And beyond not having enough water, well, maybe that was part of it. But it was like by the time we got out there, it was like 11:30, I think, like almost midday. It's like
no,
103, I
no.
think.
Yeah.
And
Dry
it's
heat
like
desert.
and
So
to like
hot.
look out at the hike, it's like you're just like walking out into the desert to this
Yes.
giant rock formation and like weaving through it and then coming back. So the start of the hike is you're walking down like a slight incline of like rock and then like kind of scrambling down a bit of steeper rock and then you're like walking down a like sand dune and then walking out to the rock and then once inside the rock, first of all you have to scale like a 10-foot rock face. There's like no infrastructure anywhere. There's no like holds or like ropes or anything. You're just like I'm like getting
Oh my
boosted
God.
up. And I'm like, how are like children doing this?
Yeah.
How is anyone in worse shape than I am doing this? Like, I'm so flabbergasted. There's like families out there. There's people with pets out here. Like, there's dogs. Once you're in, you're winding through these the slot canyons are like there's rock on either side of you and it just goes straight
Yeah.
up so you can see the sky. And there's parts where it's like touching my front and touching my back and my feet are like ballerina feet. And I'm like
Mm.
scooting sideways. We catch up to the family in front of us. So now we have to like stop and wait for them. And they're like really struggling. So we're just like pinned in this canyon, just like I'm trying not to have a panic attack. We
No.
finally get out, then we go through another one, then we finally get out of that, and then we're going back. And then we have to walk up the sand dune again that we came down, and then up that rock like face that we came down to begin with. And I was like, I was telling Ryan, I was like, I feel like one of those people in those videos that have like run a marathon and are like losing control of their limbs. They like can't walk and they're just
Yeah.
I was like such a disaster. I was so beat and like we get to the car. There's no water or anything at the parking lot where everybody's cars are. So we have to drive like 25 minutes to the closest gas station. We're all like sweaty and bedraggled and just like shuffling into the gas station to get like Gatorade. It was so gnarly. I was so zapped of like depleted
Uh,
of anything and everything. And it was so hard. It was so challenging.
oh my gosh.
But I
Oh,
did it.
have you seen it? I feel like it's like I've seen it a couple times on my Instagram, just like memes of like, why don't you want to come on this 2 hour hike with me? It'll only take 5 hours and it'll be the best 8 hours of your life. Because my friends have literally how hikes I
Yeah,
feel like are
it's what,
presented.
it's 10
It'll only
hours.
be 2 hours. And then like 5 hours later, they're like, oh no, this was the first half, and then we're about halfway there, and then it's like that's
That's
like
how it always goes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I
I
love a hike. I actually love hiking. We haven't done it since living in New York, but I like have hiked enough to know like I need to know what to prepare for.
yeah.
You need snacks, you need water, and don't start midday.
Oh my God. It was
Always start in the
tough.
morning, I
That's the thing
swear.
is like everyone else was in like pretty great shape. I think it was just me that was like really slowing us down, but I did a lot better than I would have expected in that situation.
Good.
So I made it out alive. I didn't have to get life flighted out. And now we've done it.
You've
A
done it.
memory I'll cherish. We're back and we're surviving, and something else we survived since we last saw you guys was this last movie following 9 to 5. Tough act to follow.
A tough act.
We watched 2026 this year. I think this came out like 2 months ago. Forbidden Fruits. Remember, we were so excited to watch this.
I was laughing because when I finished editing 9 to 5, I saw at the end we were like, this movie is for us.
Yes, nothing has ever been more us.
And then you guys will see. I don't know if this movie was for us.
I don't think it was. You know what? I have thoughts because I think it was. I just think it wasn't written and executed
Yeah,
by that same type
it
of
was
person.
meant for us.
It was meant
You're
for
right.
us.
It was meant for us, but it didn't land for us.
So this is directed by Meredith Alloway, written by Meredith Alloway and Lili Houghton. This is based on a play by Lili Houghton called Of the Woman Came the Beginning of Sin, and Through Her We All Die, which I believe is from, I wrote this down somewhere, 2017. It's not that old. And the pull quote, like the like tagline I kept finding for the play in like playbills and stuff was, this is a dynamic new play by Lili Houghton about the dangers of commercializing millennial femininity, which I'm like, maybe. And it seems like the play, I saw stills also, and it seems like it was a lot, well, it doesn't seem, it was a lot less stylized and a lot more like what if the employees of a free people made a coven. It's a fun concept. A lot of the themes I feel like remind me of, I think I told you about this book I read last year called Strip Tease by Kate Flannery. It's tease like t-shirt. And it's
Remind me.
about a girl that used to work at American Apparel, like when it first started, and how it like was so cool to work there, and then like became like weird and culty, and like the boss was this like weird egomaniacal, like sexist, manipulative, like, oh, crazy. But just like how working there kind of became like a diet cult, and that it's like
Yeah.
everyone wanted to be doing the same thing, and like it was, they felt so elite to be there. And so I feel like a lot of those themes felt somewhere in here, but again, it was
But
executed differently. I have a lot of thoughts. I have a couple of quotes I pulled from reviews of this movie. I think I was texted you. I'm having like a reverse hymn situation
Yes.
because I couldn't find any negative reviews of this movie. Like, am I
Yes.
crazy? It was like everything on Letterboxd, like the whole first page of Letterboxd was like, yes, Hunty, like mother is here. And I was like,
Yes.
no,
No, you guys.
mother is
No.
not here.
Yeah, for reference, we loved him in contrast with the overall like opinion on him was pretty negative, and we were in the minority with that, and we're in the minority again, but this time we feel very negative towards this movie.
Yeah.
No, you definitely, yeah, I'm looking back at our texting right after we finished watching this, which we were like, we ended the movie and I was like, I'm pissed off. This made me so mad.
And I feel
Which
like also like 20 minutes into watching this movie, I was like, do you want to pick something else?
I know we almost just like switched, but then I don't know, had
We had to
sunken
do it.
cost fallacy, I guess, and we were like,
Hmm.
we're this far, let's go. I said, yeah, you were like, are we crazy? Like, because we kept scrolling through. There's definitely a few Letterboxd reviews that align, and I feel like I resonated with.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I had said, I just expect more from women writing about girlhood. And
Yes.
so I
Yeah.
think that's like maybe why I'm pissed, where I'm like, I feel like because we wanted this to be for us and like because it was written, I think like you were saying, it is made for us,
Hmm.
but they didn't make it well. And I think
Yeah.
that's what pisses me off is
Like,
like there wasn't enough care.
yeah.
And if you're gonna make something that's supposed to speak to me and like actually say something, then like do it good. Don't just like make it look cute
Right.
and
And
aesthetic.
it feels a bit prepackaged to me in that like I don't think it was originally written for us. And I think they like saw a like vibe or a moment that's like happening in the digital age and they were like, well, let's put it in that
Uh,
packaging and I feel like these women who I don't know and I don't want to judge, I feel like they are not part of the culture that they were like writing this for. And so there's a couple of quotes that I pulled from the movie throughout where I feel like it was abundantly clear that it was like not their language that they were using. But I found an IndieWire article that said the film is ostensibly aiming for biting satire in the post hashtag girlboss era, but its foundation already feels out of step with reality in early 2026, which I agree with. It feels
mm-hmm.
like it's already like dating itself.
Yes.
It says for the genre crowd, Forbidden Fruits wants to be everything at once. A horror movie about female friendship, a parody of American consumerism, a camp comedy about insincerity in the digital age, and a feverish reflection on careful curated identity. But instead of mixing those flavors together, Alloway tries stacking them for an experience that's closer to a fruit kebab than a smoothie, which I also agree. It's just like a bunch of ideas like
Yes.
put together.
Yes.
And then it says that they're not connected, but that repetition underscores the film's inability to articulate what it's actually about. The ingredients are all there, but never coalesce into a coherent thesis. And I feel like part of my broader take of this movie before we get into it is like I've been seeing a couple of creators on Instagram talking lately, and something that Ryan and I have been talking about a lot lately is like that personal style isn't like earned anymore. Like personal style used to be something that like you were part of a culture or a subculture and you knew people and you knew music and you knew movies from being around those people and having those experiences and like being in those spaces and it wasn't as accessible and I feel like everything is
Mm,
so accessible now that everything is for everybody and you can just like pick an aesthetic and be like I want to look like that and like you can know all the like brands that like you only know if you're in the know and i I feel like the constant changing too of like I feel like I see like edits that are like if you're looking for your next rebrand like look at like for my rebrand for
yeah.
2027 or like clean girl versus like mafia wife like I feel like people are just like picking and choosing things and I feel like rather than this movie being made by people who know and understand this style they just like found a really cool filter of this style and like put it on top of something else
Mm,
and we're like look how cool and like so at the outset and from the trailer, we were
yeah.
like, yeah, this looks like it's for
Yeah.
us. And then you get closer and you're like, oh, you're not actually about that life. Like you don't you
Yeah.
don't know. So it just felt like a little empty. The dialogue certainly really
Certainly the
well.
dialogue. That my notes throughout are like, this felt empty. This has no some. They're just saying
We're
words.
just saying words. The
This
dialogue is so bad. The story is pretty bad. The acting, the girls are giving it their all.
The girls
Amazing
were acting.
performances.
The girls got trash lines and they delivered.
They delivered. Lili Reinhart, again, because I watched the whole movie again, and her end, like crazy. I'm like, this is beautiful.
No,
Like, this
she
is
did great.
amazing. She's so great.
Her and Victoria Pedretti, I really liked both of their
They're
performances.
carrying, yeah.
And I was so mad about Victoria, her character. I think that
Yeah.
her character was done so dirty.
So dirty.
I
Yeah.
have in my notes that I like quickly typed up like in my rage, in my post movie watching rage, all caps. We were rooting for you.
We were all rooting for you. How
all
dare
rooting
you?
for you.
I have never yelled at a girl like this before.
Oh, that's what it felt like after watching this.
Yeah.
And then I have every line felt like it was written in hopes that it would get clipped and remixed over a
Yes.
relatably humorous TikTok.
Yes.
Like literally,
Yes.
that's what the dialogue felt like.
Like either clipped and put over relatable TikTok, or everything I saw people quoting in Letterboxd reviews. I was like, no, that's what they wanted you to do with that line.
What did you do? And it's so fucking annoying. Like, don't write me that. Don't write for Letterboxd. Don't write for TikTok. Like, write me a good fucking movie for me. For me. For me. For the girlies. The girlies who worked in retail.
No.
I did my time in a Nordstrom, so
Well, you know, this was double for you.
this was double for me.
I felt insulted. I feel like these actresses should definitely feel insulted because they are way too good for this. They were acting their little butts off. Emma Chamberlain, God bless her heart, was even trying so hard. They were given crumbs and they made a meal. Lili Reinhart in particular
Yes.
was
yes.
eating. She was chewing the words that were so bad. Oh my God. But I'm actually very excited to talk about this.
I think we're gonna have fun. I think I'm gonna be the meanest I've ever been.
We're going to be so mad.
Oof.
Oh, get ready. I'm mad. I was saying I'm just going to be doing like a one-woman show for this first half because I just wrote all the lines.
Yeah.
Get a load of what they tried to do.
Yeah, you're gonna hear the crumbs of this dialogue. Oh God.
Okay, let's
go.
do it. I'm stoked. All right. So we start, we're having our logos slowly coming in. Over that, we have a radio, like the fuzz of like a car radio coming in. We're getting the like static in between changing stations. I don't think that what people are saying, it's like commercials and songs. I don't think that's super important. It's establishing that we're in Texas and that it's very hot. It's going to be another scorcher. We get a close up of a manicured hand with red nails on a red, like Stanley-esque cup. And there's like stickers all over it. They're very like witchy, cool, cute. We're in a car. The car is pretty messy. Crystals and like little like incantation bundles. We get close up of a compact. It is Lili Reinhart. She is putting on makeup in a compact. Shows the license plate from the back of her car. It's 6 Lilith 6 with the Texas license plate. So she is this witchy bitch in her car. She looks over. There's a middle-aged man in the car next to her that's checking her out. They're parked in front of the mall. She like looks over and like motions for him to roll down his window, and he does. And then she does like a little like jerk off motion with her hand.
Yeah.
So he does. Just like jumps right into it. He's like, "Oh yeah, I can't believe this is so cool." And she's just like not even watching him. She's just like sitting staring forward in her car. So he's having a great time. Lili Reinhart opens up her Stanley. We see some steam coming out of it. She like seductively blows. And then it cuts to outside of both of their cars, and you just see her splash the hot coffee into his window, and he's screaming. He steps out. This is Lili Reinhart. She has a long red hair. and little bangs. She's wearing a green, like, booty short set and a really long leather trench coat with a furry collar. She looks hot as hell. She's walking into the mall. We get our title, Forbidden Fruits. So this next scene is like our first like real scene, and I feel like this is where I got pissed off
Yeah.
again watching this. So next scene is three girls walking down some glittery stairs towards us, like kind of like slow motion, like showing them off. Cherry is blonde. This is, what's her name?
Victoria Pedretti.
Victoria Pedretti, who is in Haunting of Hill House, you said?
Mm-hmm.
She's in little red gingham bubble shorts and like
Yeah.
a belly shirt, sweater, and cowboy boots and a cowboy hat. We have Fig, who I don't know her name either. She's in some of the X-Men movies. Fig is in a like shapeless, cool, like fashion leather outfit with some chains and braids in her hair. And then we also have Lili Reinhart, who is Apple, to this like song. It's like bad bitch, TikTok edit. And the lyrics to this song are skin clear, hair shiny, girls and gays like me, tap I'm on your screen. Already I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off here. So it's them walking through the store, and we hear Apple, who's Lili Reinhart, say in like a very deadpan voice, lunchtime freaks, which to me is like lifting so literally from Scream Queen's Chanel Oberlin. Did we watch Scream Queens together?
No, but I've seen the first few episodes actually. I
Yeah,
like the
it's like
pilot a lot.
morning sluts. Like that's like
Yeah.
her whole thing. And I feel like that's just like the energy they're going for here. I
Yes.
was like, well, this is a Scream Queens edit.
Yes.
So they're walking out of their store into the food court of the mall they work at. It's like very like National Geographic. It's zoomed in from far away. And then we get some voiceovers of other people like observing them and commenting on them to give us a little backstory. And these voiceovers say things like, oh my God, it's the Free Eden girls. Free Eden is the store they work at, which I think is supposed to be like a free people.
Free people. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's the Free Eden girls. It's impossible to get a job there. They're like mall royalty. Here comes mother. The fruits are so hot. Is there a fourth one? I heard she went crazy. Cuts to them all getting their food in the food court. Cherry and Apple are both getting salads and like little salad shakers. Voiceover says, wait, don't they pay? We don't charge the fruits. Apple's a bitch. She's so much more than that. We see Fig getting shawarma and going, give me my shawarma. Ooh, I need it. So we like know she's like different than the other girls because she's not getting a salad. Cherry goes up to another counter where there's a boy working there, and he's like, hey, there's my cowgirl, and like feeds her a French fry in like a really sexy way. And she's like, and he's like, I'll see you on Wednesday. So we're establishing that she's like the slutty one. Which also I was like, the blonde dumb one is the slutty one too. Like
Yeah.
this was
That
written by
pissed
a
me
woman.
off. Yeah, it pissed me off.
Okay. So they sit down. It's very Mean Girls. Also, I read it was filmed in the same mall as that Mean Girls mall scene was filmed.
Oh.
Very cute. Apple is giving orders. We're establishing she's the highest ranking. She says, Fig, I need you to hit 10K today. Cherry, you're helping me unbox a shipment. I'm basically selling for 2 now. So if I want to make manager. And Fig goes, wait, are you preggy? And Cherry goes, no, she's talking about. And Apple says, don't say her name. She doesn't work here anymore. Obvi, I'm not pregnant. What if I had a boy and I had to name him like Bob or some shit? So then Fig goes, Apple, you would make such a better manager than Sharon. This is our first mention of Sharon. We will hear and not see a lot more about Sharon. Cherry doesn't like Sharon either. She's like, oh yeah, Sharon. Sharon. She like does a weird like house bunny, like, I don't like Sharon either. Apple goes to leave. She's gonna go down the escalator, and then she goes, oh yeah, we don't do the escalator in skinny heels. Schrodinger's escalator in skinny heels. She goes to pee. Immediately, a jump scare. Lola Tongue of the Summer I Turned Pretty fame approaches in a little like polo and like paper hat, like the little like in and out paper hat. says Sister Salts on the side with a little pretzel. She has a little tray of pretzel bites. She goes, hey, y'all. Fig goes, ooh, free samples. And she's like so excited. She's not afraid to eat carbs. She's not like the other girls. Cherry goes, no, and like slaps her hand away. She goes, I don't know what you do at these Ren fairs. I'm just going to keep going. I don't know what you do at these Ren fairs, but here at the mall, we don't talk to Sister Salts. Or I think she calls her Sister Sweets. They walk away, and Lola Tongue, whose name we'll learn later, is Pumpkin. Pumpkin is like staring with her tray knowingly, and the music is like kind of creepy, and she's watching them walk away. This was one of my favorite. I think this made me laugh out loud, and this is a great example of Lili Reinhart's range and how she carries this movie. We cut to Apple saying, and then I threw my hot coffee on his dick. And Cherry goes, wait, was it coffee or was it your latte? And Apple goes, latte, stop, this is serious. I laughed out loud so hard.
That's funny.
That's funny. There's a couple that are like, that's funny.
There's a couple. They got away with a few lines. There were some funny ones.
See, we're not looking to hate this movie. We're looking to love this movie.
We are looking for all the glimmering, beautiful parts of this movie, and there are a couple funny lines.
Latte, stop. This is serious.
Stop. This is serious.
But luckily, Cherry's like, oh my God, like, it's a sign because I brought you a latte also when I came in. So like you have one, even though you threw yours at that guy. She's like Cherry's following Apple around kind of like manic. She really wants her to like her is the vibe. And Apple says to her, you really have to work on this compulsion. You have to make yourself the main character in everyone else's story. So like Apple's a bitch, but Cherry is like, she wants her approval. And it seems like she's kind of Cherry's mentor a little bit. They start unboxing this new order. Fig is downstairs on the floor. Pumpkin comes in. Fig is so happy to see her again, grabs a handful. She's like, do you ever try all the flavors at once? Grabs a handful. Cut back up to Cherry and Apple. They're like, this better be something I can sell. Unboxing it. Fuchsia sequin mini skirts. Apple says, glitter mini skirts. The Hillary Duff collab is back. Thank goddess. Which is also funny. Okay. We're on a streak here. The Hillary Duff collab is back. Thank goddess. Did you watch the Lizzie McGuire show?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So then we have Cherry says, oh, I'm such a gordo. And Apple says, no, you're a Miranda. Fig's a gordo. That's also funny.
Yeah.
I feel like they had like a writer write that part because these women do not know. So then we cut to Fig is chowing down on pretzel samples. She says, what's your name again? And she says, Pumpkin. And she goes, dead ass. Things like that. Like, dead ass. I knew there was something special about you. She's talking about how they usually don't talk to employees of Sister Salt because Sister Salt is bottom of the food chain. And Pumpkin says, that's okay. And she's like, sorry, no offense. And she goes, that's okay. My job doesn't define me. My hotness and my personality do, which I also really liked.
Or annoyed me only a little bit.
Like, I feel like there's a difference between lines that are like actually funny and then lines that they wrote to like go in the trailer. And I feel like that is one of those.
I think I just never understood Lola Tongue's character.
No, God, no, not at all.
At all. So like I think that also
like,
tells
why
me
would
nothing.
she say something like that?
Yeah, it tells me nothing about her. I'm like, are you trying to be the new Queen Bee? Like, what is that? What is this like overconfidence? Why are you just standing around all the time? Like, I did not understand in the beginning. I couldn't place her, and by the end,
no,
couldn't place her.
It's like as if
all.
Lindsay Lohan's character in Mean Girls like started out the bitch that she is in the third act in the beginning. It's like, why are you not like, why are you so confident, but like, what is this character you're writing? Because this character doesn't feel like she should be like, my hotness defines me. And she's like pretty homely and like wearing less makeup and like wearing like a dumpy polo and like
her thing is she goes home to hang out with her mom every night.
Yeah. So then why is she speaking the same as the other girls?
Yeah, like why? Who are you? I don't get it. Who are you? Anyway.
So then Fig tells her, come back tomorrow, don't bring pretzels. And then she goes, actually, bring back pretzels with cinnamon. Apple loves cinnamon naturally. And then Fig over the walkie is like, hey, girls, I know we said that we weren't going to hire a new fourth, but like, I think I found someone. They have like little store walkie-talkies that are often in play. Then we cut back to the girls that are unboxing in the storage room. Cherry cuts her finger. It's pretty gross. It was pretty shocking. I also thought there was going to be a lot more stuff like that in this movie. And I feel
Yeah.
like there's not until the end.
Yes.
But Apple takes her finger and sucks her blood in her mouth and goes, I keep telling you, your nails are a safety hazard. Says Schrodinger's Schrodinger's
Foreshadowing.
nails. Is it not Schrodinger? Am I saying the wrong one?
Schrodinger is the
Is
cat
that the
that is
poison?
like,
What's the
I
one?
don't,
What's the one with the gun?
oh, Chekhov's gun?
Chekhov. God,
Okay.
that's what I've been trying to say
Because
the whole time.
I was like, maybe I don't understand the
No.
Schrodinger. Because I thought it was like the cat could be dead or alive, and when you open the box, it
That
is
is, yeah,
what
that's
it is.
Schrodinger.
Okay.
Chekhov, I also meant to say when I said Schrodinger's escalator in Kitten Heels. Chekhov's escalator in Kitten Heels.
Schrodinger's.
Um, but how smart are we that we caught that? We're so smart.
We're so smart. We were just too smart for
We're
this
too smart. I
movie,
know
obviously.
too many literary references. Um, this is Chekhov's press on nails here. So then the next day, we have Apple arriving at the mall. She is in capris and kitten heels, which I'm told are all over New York City right
Yeah.
now.
The June 1st, the capris came out, and I went,
Came out a swinging.
where is everyone getting these?
Where are they getting
Should
them?
I get myself a pair? I swear, every summer there's like a new thing. Like 2 summers ago, it was like the same. Everyone had the same like black skin tight bodysuit.
That's what
This
I'm saying. Like
summer it's
everyone is like seeing the same mood board that's getting refreshed
Yes.
every month. And they're like, ooh, I'll choose this. And then everybody looks the exact goddamn same. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
The music is like menacing and bumping. The mall is empty. She's unlocking the store. Pumpkin is inside the store with her pretzels, cinnamon only. She goes, freshly baked pretzel, which again, I'm like, why is she so like spooky? Like,
Yeah.
so she goes, freshly baked pretzel, and Apple takes one. She goes, I love cinnamon. I heard. And she says, do I know you? And Pumpkin goes, I don't think so. I just moved here. And Apple goes, are you looking for a job, babe? Lili Reinhart also calls everyone babe. And I like when she does it. I feel like the other girls do it, and I don't like when they do it.
No.
They're not as commanding
Yeah.
as she is.
I like Lili Reinhart the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
I think she's so great. And the way
She's
she
great.
like sits and then will just like move her eyes.
Uh-huh. I was noticing that too. Her like eyeball work is like really
It's
fascinating.
really good. She like won't move her head at all, but
Uh-huh.
she'll like stare dead straight on at you somehow
Uh-huh.
from her eyes.
And they're
being
like they
turned.
seem like extra round and extra shiny.
Yeah.
She's using droplets. Cherry says, how do you take your coffee? And Pumpkin says, I don't. It makes me vom. Somebody, I just wrote down this line. I don't know who asked her. Somebody says, do you ever feel alone sometimes to her? As like a get to know you question. And she says, well, I have a heart tattoo on my pinky. And I think anybody with a tiny heart tattooed on their body is deeply alone. Which I feel like I don't know if I mentioned this movie is produced by Diablo Cody. And I feel like we get the Diablo Cody influence throughout.
Yeah.
Without the like, and I feel like even the Diablo Cody magic might not taste the same now. Because I don't
Yeah.
know that she's like adapting her flow. I feel like it's pretty like 2011.
Yeah.
But it like doesn't have the like sparkle that like Juno had, or even like, I don't know, Jennifer's Body. I know was like a
Well,
little weird, but like it felt authentic to that movie.
Yeah.
And it feels like this movie was like, I mean, I know it was like written by people, but it feels like you like gave like a AI prompt like Diablo Cody and then like Mean Girls and The
And like,
Craft. And we're
here's
like,
the
put it
concept.
together.
Yeah.
She got it because she's trying to make friends with a girl that she thinks it's because her parents couldn't afford to buy her an American Girl dolls. Which again, I'm like, I feel like that's a reference that they were banking on people being like, oh my God, like I get that reference. She says she wishes she could have been a doll herself to have someone braid her hair. And then Apple says, what's your name? She says, Pumpkin. She says, what are you up to tonight? And she says, I'm going to go home and bake a cake with my mom. And Apple says, but like, what do you want to be up to tonight?
But it's like these girls don't actually do anything cool either.
No,
They just hang out
no,
with each
they're
other.
just hanging out with each other. There's like no like, also there's no actual like magic happening. There's no like witchcraft. Like
No.
there's some violence, but like it's just like a toxic work environment anyway. So it cuts to the mall's closing. It's seeming like a scary vibe, but again, this movie was like not super scary. It wasn't scary at all. So they tell Pumpkin to come into the clothes store because she still works at the Salty Sisters or whatever. This is where we get a really great bit of information on Fig. Fig is walking her into the store and says, are you from Oklahoma? You're totally giving off scissor-tailed flycatcher vibe. And here is where we learn that Fig knows state birds, and that's her thing.
Pisses me off.
She said, no one really liked me in high school, so I know a lot about state birds. They're discussing where they're all from, which is like various parts of Texas. Fig lets slip or tells her that Cherry's whole family died, but she didn't even inherit anything. And then she says, Apple and Cherry are part of an elite dead dads club. And Pumpkin says, oh my gosh, me too. And Fig says, FOMO. We cut to upstairs in the fitting room at Free Eden. Cherry's in a red gown, and she has a joint in a little
Oh yeah, like a little
joint holder.
pincher. Yeah.
Pincher. And she goes up to Fig and goes, blow me, which, so she wants Fig to like take a hit and then like blow it into her mouth.
Blow the smoke into her mouth.
Don't know what that's called, but, and then she offers it to Pumpkin. Pumpkin says, I don't smoke. She says, it's not smoking, it's praying, and then welcomes her to paradise. They are all gathered on a bedazzled cowboy boot, and then they all take a pull from a bag of wine and pass it around, which was funny. Apple says, of the tree, winter, and like passes it. And then Fig says, of the root, summer, and then pass it to Cherry, and they say Cherry's sober. But they're like, okay, now you say like what your thing is, like what your fruit is, where it comes from and the season. And so Cherry's like, they're like, for example, Cherry of the, and Cherry goes, bush, spring. Which I'm like, bush? Cherries grow on trees.
Yeah. Cherry trees.
She says bush, and then she goes spring. So then Pumpkin says, of the dirt, Halloween is her answer. And then they get to Fig's like, oh my God, you guys, Halloween is in the fall. So then she says, of the vine, autumn, which is cuter. And then they're like, oh my God, it's in fall. And Apple gets like a really knowing look on her face with those little eyeballs moving. And she goes, we finally completed the retail season. Which again, I feel like that was another good trope, like the retail season. Like, that's funny. Like, and I'm sure that's in the original play. And then Cherry brings up that some scientists don't consider a pumpkin a fruit. And so she's like, we've completed the retail season. And Cherry goes, well, if you consider a pumpkin a fruit. And Apple goes, I'm sorry, do you actually fucking hate women? Lili Reinhart eating. We're getting some tension between, I feel like the tension here with Mean Girls is like Regina George and like, what's the one? The brunette.
Gretchen Wiener.
Gretchen Wieners. Yeah, I feel like we're getting the tension there. Like she's trying to make fetch happen. It's like she keeps like putting her in her place.
Yeah.
So we're getting a lot of tension between Apple and Cherry. They take out little vials of what looks like blood and pour it into the boot. And Pumpkin says, are you guys witches? And Apple's like, well, that depends on how you define a witch. And she goes, I don't know, broomsticks, spells, Nicole Kidman. And Cherry goes, yes. Fig reveals she has a degree in astrophysics.
I don't want to talk about it. It's pissed me off. She's the scientist of the group who knows the state birds.
The scientist.
And
she says, well, I have a degree in astrophysics.
Yeah. Ugh.
Apple says, our magic is in the mundane shit you would have been executed for in Salem. Being a witch is sisterhood, and we all need sisterhood to survive. That's why I created paradise. So to be in their club, you have to follow 3 rules. The first is shine theory, which is women illuminate when they surround themselves with other women who shine. She's explaining this as they all take off their underwear, like from under their skirts,
All
and then
right.
like ring the essence. Nothing comes out,
Yeah, nothing comes out. You're right.
but
It's
it's
just
like they're all ringing it over the boot. They're taking turns. Rule 2, Vindicar, the demon that derives pleasure from other people's pain or misery, you must banish. And then rule number 3 is the most important. We only text boys using emojis. And Apple goes, right, Fig? And Fig says, Norman's not my boyfriend. And she says, he better not be. They pass the boot around and chant their incantation, which pissed me off too. I was like, this is what they wanted people to put in the letterbox. The incantation that they chant in unison is goat's milk, thigh gaps, rose petals, bone caps, truffle oil, bitch slap, blood clots, juice press. Do you have, what are your thoughts?
it pisses me off. It's just like no, you're exactly right. And I did see people write that in the
They love,
letterbox. Like
certain people
love.
ate it up.
I feel like this whole time this movie was talking down to me.
Yes. Yeah.
Where I'm like, I've been a girl. I've been in toxic workplaces. I've been in like all these things are like actual real things, and I love a satire. I think satire is so fun, but when you belittle and like talk down to your audience and like be like, haha, like witchy stuff.
And like
In this, like,
I know
girl
what you
group.
talk about. I
I
know
know
the
what you talk
buzzwords.
about. Yeah, you just like exactly. It's just a string of buzzwords that sound kind of like nice together, but it has no substance. It's empty words. It means nothing to me.
Yeah.
And I love the craft, practical magic.
Yeah.
I love just as much as the next girl, Lizzie McGuire. Like you're getting me. You're getting me with the references.
This is all our signifiers, which is
Yes,
why we were like,
they're
this
there.
movie's for us. And then
Yes.
the delivery, there was nothing there.
Yeah, but don't just like throw the words at me. Like I don't know how to fix it. I think it's just because we were wanting this to be so good and so
I
fun
think it needed to
and
be rewritten by different people. I think
yeah.
they needed to have like inspired by or based on the play by, and then be rewritten. And maybe it's because I just watched all of Hacks, but it's like, I feel like we needed a younger person to, if you want the like cunty little language of like Gen Z, like you needed a Gen Z person to help you out.
Yeah.
Or like young millennial, I feel like they were going with because of the like Lizzie McGuire, but like I don't know. It just felt like really inauthentic.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. I
It
don't
also really bothered me that they ended on Juice Press for some reason.
yeah.
I was like, I feel like I should have ended on like bitch slap, thigh gap, end on thigh gap. That would have been better. I don't know. Juice Press. Then Apple takes the boot up to Pumpkin and says, slap me. And she's like, no. And she's like, come on, slap me. Our little Fight Club moment. She goes, no. And she goes, boo. I really thought that you would. And she slaps her. And Pumpkin's taken aback that she slapped her. And she goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And Apple, a single tear. And she collects it in the boot. And she says something like, no worries, babe. She puts a big long straw in the boot and gives it to Pumpkin and says, drink up. And she does. Ooh, why would you? She takes her to a changing room and says, welcome to confessional. This is a safe space where we confess our sins to the ultimate femme martyr, Marilyn. I expected there to be like an altar or something. There's not. It's just a changing room and they're just like verbalizing
Yeah.
to Marilyn Monroe, their patron saint.
Like staring at themselves in
yeah.
the mirror.
There is a cool effect that I liked where it's because it's the double mirror. So it's like
Yeah.
you can see them reflected. And I feel like oftentimes I feel like especially with Cherry later on, it's like showing like a smeared version of them in the background, which
Yeah.
I thought was a cool effect.
And if they did that, if that's taken from the play, I'm sure that actually had an interesting, like that could have been a cool
Yeah.
thing too on stage, like putting them in a smaller space and having kind of these monologues. I think
Yeah.
I didn't hate the confessional monologues.
No, I didn't either. I thought it was a little weird that Pumpkin's like, I don't like this is so weird. Like I don't buy into this, and then it immediately just starts like But
Yeah.
she says, I don't know if I buy into this. So she leaves her alone, closes the beaded curtain. She says, I don't know if I buy into all this, the whole girls supporting girls thing. She goes into a pretty lengthy monologue staring into the mirror. She says, sisterhood doesn't come naturally to me. I tried it, and all I was left with was a weird heart tattoo on my knuckle and a hamster with asthma. What? What do you
What?
think?
I think this is another problem that this movie has. I'm stealing this from Jaden. He he says when like people appear and they're trying to be like, I'm so weird. I use
Lol,
this word
random.
instead of this weird word. He'll say, "You're not the quirk chungus that you think you are," and it makes me laugh every time. But I feel like we were trying to make these girls quirk chunguses, and they weren't. Does that make sense?
I feel like that's the Diablo codification. I feel like that's the thing that like would have done numbers in Juno. Like to have Rainn Wilson. Did you see Juno?
Yeah, yeah.
To have
Oh yeah.
Rainn Wilson as the like convenience store guy in Juno be like, and all I got was a hamster with asthma. Like random. Like
Yeah.
that would have hit so hard in whatever 2009 when that came out. And
Yeah.
here it's like, what? What
But
are you
but
what are you
here's
talking about?
but it can be done. It can be
Can
like
be done.
the satire and the like weird. See, it's just too random, and that's the thing. It's like it's not funny because it's just has
It's the
nothing.
fruit shish kebab. It's
Yes,
just none
yeah,
of it's
you're
blended.
just doing that because you feel like you need that layer.
Hmm.
But like I loved Bottoms, which is a
Hmm.
complete like
Oh,
huge
that's a
sat.
one of that IndieWire article referenced it and was like, this is like Bottoms done badly. Like,
Yes, because Bottoms is so nails the tone and nails the satire of an American high school
yeah.
so well. Great, great movie. And then you and I watched together Theater Camp, which I
Hmm.
also think is a great example of like hyper specific group of people. And maybe that's to your point. Like this is so flattened because it's like Pinterest board, like girls walking out of
Yeah.
Pinterest board, and now we're backfilling personality or
Yeah.
something. Whereas like theater camp is like, okay, we have these specific people in this niche
And the
world,
people that
and
wrote
these are the
it were
archetypes.
in theater
Yeah,
camp, so they knew all those tropes. Like they
yeah.
knew.
Yeah. But it's like you're saying, like the people that made this movie weren't these people, so it
No.
feels inauthentic. I mean,
Yeah.
it keeps coming back to that, I think.
Because
Like
we're just
every time we
pissed
like
off.
start to explain it, we're like, it's inauthentic, it's shallow, and talks down to us as an audience, I think. So anyway,
Yeah. So she says her hamster has asthma, and then she's kind of rambling, and then she says to herself or to Marilyn, she's like, well, I guess she's not, maybe she could finally teach me to. And then like turns to the curtain and opens it and sees that Apple is not there. So I don't know if she thought Apple was there the whole time she was talking, but she just realizes she's not there. She walks out into the store. She is alone in the store. She has been locked into the store. It's nighttime. They've locked the like security cage. Slumps to the floor. She calls her mom, who we never hear, but she calls her often. This part I also thought was really weird. So she calls her mom and she goes, "Hey mom, no, I'm okay. I'm just having a slumber party tonight, like with some friends. Like, don't worry about me." And then goes, "Yeah, it's her. I don't know, but I'm gonna find out." Which I'm like, what was the I'm at a slumber party
yeah,
for?
what's the lie then
If you're
if
like
your
up to
mom's
some
also
secret
in
thing with
on
your mom.
something?
Yeah. So
Because
it's
like
like,
clearly she's talking about one of these
right.
girls.
Right. She's like wolf in sheep's clothing herself into like she's doing something and her mom knows. So why isn't she like, they fucking locked me in the store, like I'll see you tomorrow. But she's like, I'm having a sleepover. And then it's like, I don't know, but I'm going to find out. So weird. Okay. Next day, the three girls arrive. They unlock the store. They're walking in. They're looking around. I think someone says, is she deceased? Because they don't see Pumpkin. Apple says, you smell that? And Fig goes, yeah, it smells like puppy's breath and cinnamon sticks. And Apple goes, is someone wearing that? And then we cut to the top of the stairs. We see a cowboy boot step out. We have the like cowboy, like
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
Uh, and it's Pumpkin at the top of the stairs, and she's in like a little like gingham prairie mini dress and cowboy boots. And she goes, the Mojave Body Mist? Yeah, I am, which is like Devil Wears Prada reference, right? So she's
Um,
been like made over. Is this magic? I don't know. She's like hot now. They're all very pleased. Apple seems very pleased, but also a little like nervous, maybe. Like, wait, why is she so hot? Fig goes, you are so Andy Sachs right now, which I did think was funny because they're calling out their Devil Wears Prada reference.
mhm.
Cherry goes, I brought you a pumpkin spice latte. And Pumpkin goes, coffee makes me vom again. Apple says, well, you might just be ready for a trial shift. And she goes, I'm not hired already. And Cherry goes, no, Sharon has to approve you first. And she goes, who's Sharon? And Cherry goes, the manager. And Apple goes, for now. So Pumpkin and Apple are like exchanging looks where it's kind of like, like, again, like they're vying for
Yeah.
top spot. I don't know. It's like a respect and a like, I don't know. Like, I didn't know
Competition.
you knew ball kind of like
Yeah, yeah,
energy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, competition. So we cut to a man is walking into the store helpless. He's got two daughters that are running around crazy. Pumpkin is selling him stuff, really crushing it. His wife walks in with a baby. She's wearing a gigantic brim hat. And Apple clocks her and goes, "Uh-oh, momfluencer," which is funny. She says, "Oh my God, I love your hat." I think she says, "Is that sand in your ass crack? Because you looked like you just walked off the beach." And she says that she loves her hat, but she's a little worried the brim isn't big enough because she wants it to cover her face and the baby's face. And they're like, oh, well, you just need a little extra fabric. And Apple goes over and like Houdini's scarf from under a display, and Pumpkin drapes it over her head, and it's like this over the hat and the baby. And it's like slow motion, like, oh my God, she loves it. And Pumpkin kind of signals to Fig at the register, like 400. They like print out a tag and stick it on it's just like a decoration they're selling her. So she buys it, big sale. He leaves. Pumpkin's like, he was sweet, makes me miss my dad. And Apple says, what, because he bought them something? Oh, what, because he bought him something? He's a good guy. They probably caught him with his mistress. It's called a payoff present. Men are two-faced, Pumpkin. Come on. Pumpkin's like, that doesn't mean anything. And then we suddenly hear a thumping on the window. And they all turn, and we just see a pair of two little skinny legs in green tights and like a dunk, dunk, dunk. And Pumpkin goes, "What's that?" And somebody says nothing. And then in the walkie, I think Apple goes, "Code dill." I repeat, code dill. And then over the walkie, it's Sharon. She says, "Apple in my office now." And then we cut to the office. We get our first glimpse of Sharon. It is at just a hand on a desk.
As
Um,
seen, yeah, here.
she says that like been another incident, and like Apple, this cannot happen with the new girl. Apple's like, this isn't gonna happen again. It's very like, ooh, who's Sharon and what's
Yeah.
happening? So Apple comes back out. She grabs Pumpkin. She says, let's take a walk. They're walking around the mall. They're at a charm bracelet kiosk buying her a little. All the girls have charm bracelets that have the fruit
Yes.
on them.
Yeah.
So they're getting Pumpkin one. And Apple's like, I see so much of myself in you. She's talking about why she created Paradise because I had to survive. Women who don't have a garden won't grow. And she says, there's always work to be done. We can do it together. And she says, when I met you, I felt this connection like we're blood. Did you feel it too? And Pumpkin doesn't say anything. And then she goes, you're hired, babe. They get her little pumpkin charm. They walk past this gigantic, like 6 foot tall dollhouse, which I did not notice this on the first watch. It's just set up in the mall, like a display. And in the dollhouse are some dolls. And then at the top, there's the Barbie in the trench coat sitting.
Mm.
And Apple says, "Oh my gosh, Jane is the ultimate girl boss. I wish I could hold down that many jobs." So I think Jane is supposed to be like Barbie, and they couldn't use
Okay.
the name Barbie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then cut to Pumpkin has bought this detective Barbie for her, and it's in the store now. And she goes, "Oh my God, Jane Does Detective is my fave. Look at her little khaki trench." Apple says, "Okay, we're gonna go unbox some merchandise." Cherry says she has dibs on the stilettos, and Apple says, "I'm sorry, are you literally an infant?" And then Apple and Pumpkin go to unbox the stilettos. Cherry turns to Fig and says, "Do you think Pumpkin is Apple's new mini-me?" They go back and forth a little bit, and then she says, "Keep your enemies close." And they both run over to the other girls to unbox. We get a massive close-up of the Jane Does Detective, and then the camera shifts focus to Does Detective's binoculars. So we are suspicious of the Detective Barbie doll. We are transitioning from fall to winter. They have a happy winter solstice ceremony. They're welcoming the birth of the sun. This was like a cute little like dance montage. We have the like dance remix of the like, "Baby, you're all that I want," like while they're all dancing in the storeroom. This is when Apple opens up her little ring and like offers everyone to take something out of it that you
Mhm.
assume is drugs, but we find out later they're just sequins.
It's just
They're all
sequins.
just putting it on their tongue, so it looks really cool, but doesn't
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
anything. Um, they're all drinking from a chalice. They're doing a montage. This is where Pumpkin finds out Cherry has a day planner with Apple has her on a strict schedule for her mental health. All her days are planned out by Apple. On Wednesdays, she has therapy, and she needs somebody to cover for her on Wednesdays, and she asks Pumpkin to do it. Pumpkin's like, "That's a little weird and controlling," and she says, "No, Apple helped me get sober, and not sad sober, but fun hot sober." She says that she has a bad case of main character syndrome that needs to get fixed. They're getting their like brew out of a crock pot and drinking it, which is fun. Apple tells Fig that it's her turn to do confessional. And she goes, "Why?" And she goes, "You ditched Cherry to meet Norman." And so she's like been found out. So she goes into the little confessional booth while everyone else keeps dancing. And then we have Fig's confessional. She says, "Forgive me, Marilyn, for I want to build an IKEA couch with Norman. I want to talk to him in words, not emojis." She gives this like speech about her mother and who her mother wanted her to be. And then she says, "I watched my mother love someone so entirely and give up on herself. I gave myself piercings so I wouldn't give up on myself." Huh? "I got a physics degree so I wouldn't give up on myself. I found peace and freedom in paradise so I wouldn't, but I still feel so alone. And then I met Norman." She feels conflicted. She said she's terrified she's going to get the same haircut as her mother. That's her confession. Uh,
Which again, I love the concept of the
yeah,
confessionals, but they're giving us nothing. I
I
don't
got
know.
these piercings so I wouldn't give up on myself. Like, what does
Yeah.
that
What
mean?
does
And she
that
just has like a
mean?
septum ring and that's it.
Yeah, those are just words, and like, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's like too many words.
It's too many words. And a lot of it, this part too, but I feel like there was one part in particular, I'll remember it when we get to it, but where I'm like, I feel like if this was in, because I have an English degree, and so I took a lot of writing and like workshop classes in
Yeah.
college. And I feel like if I had submitted this to a workshop, I would have gotten like torn to shreds.
Sure.
Like people would have
Yeah.
been like, "This is a first draft. Like you need to fix." Like I feel like being like, "I got a physics degree so that I wouldn't give up on myself." Like wasn't earlier, it wasn't physics. It was like neuroscience. Like what was the other? It's in my
No, I
notes.
think it was
Was it
always, it was like
physics?
astrophysics to physics.
Astrophysics.
But
Okay.
again, it's like, I don't know. It just then feels dumb, and it just feels like a big word to say.
And we
And like,
never get any evidence of her smartness other than the
no,
birds.
no, it's just the birds. And then like later she's like, remember,
She
it's
calls
bad when
herself
it's
a
a science. It's
scientist.
just like,
Yeah.
it's all just her telling us how smart she is. But then she still has this like childlike naivety that I don't know
Yeah.
was annoying to me, that like everyone still was dumb. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Which I
Everyone is
guess
still dumb.
everyone's still dumb, but it's like we had to have the smart one.
Yeah.
There's like the dumb blonde one, and then there's the smart one that went to school for science and
Yeah.
knows state birds. and is alt because she got a septum piercing, and that helped her be not give up on herself.
I
Like,
guess.
what? But it's just to me it's just like lazy. It's lazy
Yeah.
character.
Yeah. All these characters, and that's what I mean, we'll get to it, but when you're like Cherry got done dirty, like they're all so they're not even poorly fleshed out. They're just like not fleshed out at
Yeah.
all. And I feel like Lili Reinhart like tricks us into thinking that Apple is fleshed out because she's so good, but like even Apple is not a
No,
real character.
no, it all breaks that down.
Okay, so after their solstice party, they're walking out to, they're all going to their cars. Pumpkin is talking to her mom again. She says, I'll pick up Betty Crocker on the way home. Yes, I'm being safe. And we see her see through her windshield the back of Apple's car, and Apple is like looking out her through the back windshield and pulls these shades shut. And then it goes back to Pumpkin on the phone with her mom, and she says, I don't know yet, but I think I can crack the other two to find out. The next day, Cherry is in a very cute, she's in like a pink high-waisted, like pleather pant and like sequin top.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's getting Pumpkin to cover for her because she has to go to therapy. And we get the needle drop is The Whisper Song by the Yin Yang Twins. I was stunned. I was stunned. This was written and directed by a woman. We proceed to get a like raunchy American Pie era style montage of Cherry hooking up with a different boy every Wednesday in a way that reads like sad to me.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
running from some, like clearly this is like not because it's enjoyable. It's like a what's the word?
It's like self-destruct.
Compulsion.
Yeah,
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 like
yeah, 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 yeah.
self-destructive. To where it's like she's like grabbing them and like we have to hurry and like put up the
Yeah.
5 minute sign. Like it's like quick while the whisper song is going. So gross. We see Pumpkin kind of clocking that she's like walking away with boys, and so she starts spying on her. Pumpkin slips a walkie-talkie into her purse while she's leaving and she doesn't see. And so then Pumpkin is like listening in the
Yeah.
walkie-talkie to her hooking up with a
Totally.
guy in a dressing room of another store in the mall. All throughout this spying, Pumpkin is in her Sister Salt uniform. She still worked
Yeah,
there?
you're right. Yeah, she doing double time, double shifts. But I
It's
thought she
like,
was supposed to be like covering that
yeah,
shift.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I don't know. But I feel like the part for me that I was like, oh my God, is like, it's not this, because we're not slut shaming around here. You get it. It's like, it seemed, like I said, like so like self-destructive and so like manic.
Yeah.
And at one part she is in the fitting room with the guy. She drops down in front of him on her knees and like pulls his pants down a little bit. And she gasps at the sight of him and goes, I'm so excited. Which like what do we
What?
what are
Yeah.
we taking from this? Like while the Yin Yang Twins
Yeah.
is playing, so then it's like showing them like hooking up really aggressively, and she's like super loud, she's like screaming, and then Pumpkin like clears her throat and is like, "Oh, I think you forgot, whatever." She's like, "Oh my gosh, Pumpkin!" And like the guy leaves, and they're like having a little conversation in the dressing room. Cherry is also just wearing underwear during this conversation and is like topless, which I'm
Topless.
like,
I'm like, why did you make her?
right. I'm like, so this is like the blonde, dumb, slutty. We just saw a montage of her getting railed by all these guys, and now we're seeing her boobs. Like,
Yeah.
who is this? Who is this for? It just felt so like tonally
No, it
icky.
just.
Which
I
like
don't have
we love
anything
pervert
smart to
mode. You
say.
guys know we love pervert mode around here.
Yeah, we love a Pervert Road movie, but this to me just you're right. It just felt sad, and I think it just was out of taste, like really distasteful. Because I think like to go along with it, talking down to us. I also feel like that just strips any dignity away from your characters,
Yeah.
and it's like you can write these characters and be like okay, they're all awful and they're all shitty, and be like, I don't know, still give them like dignity, yeah,
It didn't
dignity,
seem
or
like she was like calling the shots, really. Like,
oh,
I don't know.
I didn't understand, and the whole like her just having a main character complex that she needs to work through felt so one-sided and like didn't make any sense to me. The whole time Cherry thinks her and Apple are best friends,
Hmm.
and Apple is helping her and making her a better person because she has all of these flaws, and she thinks she's just this terrible person. And Apple the whole time is just pushing her down and kicking her down and saying like, you have all these unattractive qualities, remember you need to work on that, remember you need to work on that. And it's like, I don't even think, unless like we're supposed to believe that this girl was at some point like trying to be the next Apple or something, like I don't get this from her. I get a
Hmm.
very
Right.
sad
It feels like
person who's
it feels like
lonely.
manipulative just from
Yeah.
Apple. Yeah.
Which, like, yes, is the point. Like, she's in this controlling friendship with Apple, but it's like, I don't know, like, I don't know. I think that's just like, maybe that's just not satisfying to me. Like, I think I just wanted more from
Well, and then
all
also
of
doesn't
that.
that make this whole montage like sad? Like, how is this
It's,
fun to watch?
yeah. It's
Because
like,
she's wearing like a sequin top.
no,
Like,
yeah, it's punching down on this
yeah,
character who
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
why don't, like, I don't know. And again, I'm like, what? It's almost like it just needs to be, like you said, completely rewritten because we need to lift her up a little bit
Yeah.
more. That's why Mean Girls works, I think, because it feels like we're like punching sideways, or like
Yeah.
kind of like we're all here together. We were all girls in high school
Right.
and like whatever. But this one just feels like, why are we doing this to this character?
Yeah. It's like it starts as like a weird, dumb stereotype and then just like keeps getting worse. And I don't know. Yeah, and I don't trust that it's like they did it on purpose, that they were like, no, like they're gonna expect us to make the blonde one the scientist. So that's like flip it on its head and make
Oh,
the dumb
sure.
one actually dumb. Like, I'm not feeling the faith that that's what they were doing in this. So I think this is what we mean when we say that Victoria Pedretti's character got done dirty, is I
Yes.
feel like this scene in particular is just like, God. And she does a great job. She's like acting her little heart out, but I don't know. So she asks Pumpkin if she will be her mini me. And then she says, don't tell Apple. She doesn't like when I have sex on Wednesdays. And she says she's just trying to make sure I stay sober and don't get dick whipped. She means well, but she had bad experiences growing up with her dad. He abandoned her and her mom. And then finally, Pumpkin's like, I won't tell Apple. A mini me wouldn't do that. And then, oh, there's a Cherry asks Pumpkin at one point, what's the craziest place you ever had sex? And Pumpkin says, oh, I'm a virgin. And Cherry's like, oh my God, that's adorable. So then now at this point, Cherry says, and I won't tell Apple you're a virgin because she also hates virgins. Okay.
Okay, it means nothing. It
Means
literally won't
nothing.
come up again, right? Like it doesn't mean
Means
anything.
nothing. Pumpkin is covering for Fig. Fig's like, oh, you're such a lifesaver. I have to step out for a minute, blah, blah, blah. She leaves. We see that Fig has left her phone and has kind of like a like thrasher ringtone that keeps going off. And Pumpkin looks at her phone and it's like a string of emojis for all of her texts. So she's thinking it's a boy that she's
Hmm.
texting. Fig is at a restaurant in the mall called the Yeast Garden, which is gross and weird. She is sitting in a booth. Norman, I guess, works there. He has brought her some dip. She says, you know how to have a dip? And he's trying to converse with her in emojis, like fire emoji, be kiss emoji. Like in real life, he's trying to converse with her. And she's like, you can just speak to me normally. And he says, would you be my girlfriend? We hear Pumpkin gasp. Pumpkin is sitting in a booth with her back to them, eavesdropping. She is wearing kind of Jane Fonda's safari outfit from 9 to 5. She's in
Yeah.
like a khaki button up short sleeve and shorts and like khaki like canvas hat. Really bizarre. She says, yes, yes, of course. And then Norman to the entire restaurant goes, she said yes, everyone. And that's not even the best part. And a man at another table with his family goes, "How could it get any better?" And he says, "I got us tickets to see Ed Sheeran." And the man goes, "No." I guess.
I guess it's funnier with you retelling it to me, but it just felt like a Disney movie. Like
Yeah.
this next stretch of scenes just felt like
Yes.
a Disney movie to me.
So then Fig hears the like, like her ringtone. She's like, no. She rounds the corner. She finds Pumpkin sitting there, and Pumpkin goes, "Spooky ringtone, babe." Fig says, please don't tell Apple. It's really hard for me to make friends, just like the great horned owl." And Pumpkin goes, "Really? I feel like you're more of a rosy-faced leopard." And Fig goes, "You learned about birds for me?" So now she trusts her, she respects her, and she says we can't let history repeat itself. Like, she's so nervous. And Pumpkin says, "Fig, you're not making any sense, and we're in a little bit of a pickle here." And Fig says, "So you know her name?" And then she starts muttering to herself, "Pickle isn't a fruit, pickle isn't a fruit, pickle isn't a fruit." And then Pumpkin shakes her and is like, "Pull yourself together. What happened?" And then we get the title card, The Ballad of Pickle. This is Emma Chamberlain. You know her, you love her. She's wearing a long blonde wig. She is in the dressing room of the store looking in the mirror. Every time someone's looking in the mirror, it's like they're looking direct to camera is like the effect. So she's like looking into them. Fig says Pickle was the perfect boho babe, and Apple knew she'd found her new mini-me. They were all inseparable while she was working there. Fig says that they were as glued together as Pickle's glitter fake lashes. On a boho babe? I don't think so. Glitter fake lashes? Also, not a fake lash in sight with Emma Chamberlain. Okay. She says we were like the four elements living in harmony. Then Pickle met Ashton and she started to rebel. She even started to wear mini Ugg boots to like shirk the free Eden dress code policy. And after Pickle's third missed paradise meeting, Apple told us we were going to try something fucking lit. A hex. So they perform a curse that ends with them all going around in a circle and saying, "I condemn you, snake," and pouring out some wax from a candle. Next thing they know, Ashton's in a coma. She says they thought that someone at Free Eden poisoned him, but no one could ever prove it. And then Pickle lost it after Ashton was in a coma. Fig says that's when corporate brought in Sharon. They wanted someone to like oversee the store. And Fig says, we can't let that happen to Norman. What we did was dangerous, babe. And then we cut to, I had to zoom in, Pumpkin Googling Free Eden employee pickle boyfriend coma hex. And it's like all pictures of pickles, like cartoon pickles. And then eventually she gets to like a black and white photo of a group that she clicks on. And at the bottom, it says something about like Free Eden 10-year anniversary event. And in the front, this is like a very Shining-esque. The front is Apple, and it's like cutting to closer and closer of like Apple at the front, smiling all big. It's exactly like Jack Torrance in The Shining. I feel like so many of our movies are also like The Shining. Suspiria and The Shining.
Yes.
Then we cut to Pumpkin is sitting on a toilet in the bathroom stall, just like Roz in 925. Someone comes in, she has a mouthful of pretzel bites and goes, "Mall's closed today." Which, what if you heard that? What if you walked into the bathroom? Just heard a disembodied young girl's voice. "Mall's closed today." She, like, feet are shuffling, and then she sees under the door, the stall door, a pair of mini Uggs. It's Pickle. We have kind of like a jump scare of her like seeing Emma Chamberlain's eye through the door, and it's like scary. The music is like, no, no. And she's in like a mini baby doll, like a light blue. It looks like a psych ward dress, which I think it's supposed to, but it's like a baby doll light blue dress. She runs, and Pumpkin's like, "Wait, Pickle," and is chasing her.
And she now has, I don't know if you said, her pixie cut.
Yeah.
Like very short.
Yeah, the like Rosemary's Baby, the super short bleached and like big dark circles.
And her dark circles, and and she's running around like exactly like
she's
like
running...
a haunted doll.
So Pumpkin's following her, finds her charm bracelet outside of an American Eagle and goes in the American Eagle. Um, and Pickle is like standing up against the wall. She is like all frail and tired looking. And Emma Chamberlain acting her little heart out. She says, "Run. She's dangerous. She hurts the ones she loves." And then like grabs Pumpkin's face, and Pumpkin is like, "Ah," and runs out. Then we cut to Pumpkin looking at footage on her phone, like security camera footage of the store. She's like scrubbing through it. We don't really see what she's seeing, but she walkies Sharon and says that she needs to talk to her. She's talking to Sharon privately. Now we're in spring. The girls are unboxing stuff. Sharon says over the walkie, "Pumpkin, come into my office before the end of your shift. We need to talk about chino pants. Don't tell the other girls." And all the other girls heard it. And they're like, "You've been going in to see Sharon a lot lately." And Apple's like, "Sharon wants to fire you. I can tell, but like, we're not going to let her do it." So we cut to another Paradise meeting. They have the boot. They have the spy Barbie. Pumpkin enters. They're all in black. This is new. They're like in veils. They hand her some clothes. They say, "Change into this." A snake is attempting to enter our garden. Sharon is plotting to fire Pumpkin. So they are going to do a hex against Sharon. Pumpkin is like being pretty confrontational. She says, "What, like how you handled Ashton and Pickle?" And she says, "What did you say? Who told her?" They're kind of arguing. Apple says, "We all did that hex, including Pickle. And we agreed whoever deserved that hex would receive it. So just be grateful it isn't Norman." So she's saying like, I didn't direct that at anyone. That just went at them because they had it coming. They all light their candles. They're all very reluctant, but Apple's got those eyeballs that are really convincing. They all say, "I condemn you, snake." And they pour the wax inside of the cowboy boot.
The next day, after this evening hex, we cut to the mall atrium, and Pumpkin is standing up, I don't know, several floors up, looking down into the atrium, texting. And Fig comes up to her, gives her a little drink. Some matcha, not to worry, it's not a coffee. We can see behind Pumpkin on the other side of the atrium, Pickle in the background. Kind of looks like she's climbing over the railing a little bit. And they're chatting. Fig's like, "We're all in today because we know about your big meeting with Sharon, and we're all here to support you." And Pumpkin's like, clearly there's like now something weird, like Pumpkin and Sharon have some sort of relationship, but like Apple thinks she's gonna get fired, so all the girls are in support today, but Pumpkin's like, "Why can't you just let me do this by myself?" They're having this conversation. Pickle is climbing over the railing, and then we see Emma Chamberlain, Pickle's body, fall backwards, just fall back. They're several floors up. She's dead. Fig sees this. She's looking past Pumpkin's shoulder and sees the fall, screams, and then pulls Pumpkin with her, and they run downstairs. They've gathered with a bunch of people, and Emma Chamberlain's body is just mangled, crumpled, bloody on the ground.
I feel like there's a crowd of people, and they're all just kind of like, "Oh."
They're all just looking. It's the weirdest
It's like
acting.
concern, but not like, "Oh my God," like you would be.
Call
They're all just like,
somebody.
"Oh no."
No, it's like, you're right. It's like a line of people just kind of like, "Oh."
Like they didn't know what they were like actually looking at, the actors.
But like if a girl had just fallen in the middle of the mall open area.
It like shows kind of, and it's like her like brains are like out.
Yeah, her
She's,
brains
like,
are
exploded.
out. There's blood bleeding out of her head. But they're lined up in this random group of people just standing there, and Cherry is also there. And then Apple walks up last and joins the group, and everyone's just looking down. And Fig says, "I think the hex backfired." And Fig and Cherry are starting to get worried, like, is this what we did? Like, did our hex get directed at Pickle? Because as we just talked about, like, apparently the hex goes to who deserves it. Maybe they put this hex on Pickle and it's their fault when they meant it to go to Sharon. The girls leave. Apple and Cherry and Fig like walk away. Except for Pumpkin, like none of the stage direction feels or
Right.
like the scene direction, it just all feels odd. But Pumpkin stays there and is like just staring at Pickle's body. And we get another shot, this like kind of quick, it's a little bit Suspiria, it's a little bit
Hmm.
I don't know, like old horror film. We get like a really quick couple frame shot of her body falling again, and then cut with like generic horror movie jump scare sound,
Uh-huh.
and then cut back to a close up of her like head on the ground with the blood pooling out of it,
Mhm.
and then a close up of the charm bracelet on her wrist. We cut to Cherry walking near the staff back room, and she overhears Apple talking to Sharon, and Apple is begging Sharon not to fire
Also, I'm
Pumpkin.
sorry. Pickle, like lemon was right there. Like pickle is pickle.
Pickle? I know. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Even pumpkin. I'm like, I feel like lemon is like cute. Anyway,
But they
pickle.
needed to complete the retail cycle. So
That's true.
Pumpkin
Seasonally speaking, you're
and
right. You're
Pickle
absolutely
just
right. Pickle
doesn't
didn't fit.
fit, so she couldn't have stayed.
You're right. This is the right choice.
We can poke holes in this, but there's no holes in the
There's no holes there. Airtight.
airtime. Fruit choices are
Retail
on
season.
point.
Okay.
Retail season, remember. But yeah, so we're hearing this conversation between Sharon and Apple, and like, I have, this is such a normal thing to do. Like, this would be the normal first step. Like, if you were worried about the person you're supervising getting fired, you could just talk to your boss about
Mhm.
it. But anyway, she goes for the hex first, which didn't work. But now she's doing like a normal thing, which is, hey, I don't want you to fire my employee. But Sharon seems confused. Like,
Mhm.
that's not why we were having a meeting. And instead of talking about Pumpkin, starts asking questions about Pickle. And did you do something to Pickle, Apple? Is this something you did? And Apple's like, I would never do anything to hurt anyone. I'm just trying to make the world a better place. But at this point, she overhears Cherry outside the door, so she like walks out, like leaves the
Leaves
meeting,
the meeting, closes the door
leaves
behind
the
her.
meeting, closes the door, and Cherry asks Apple, like, "Do you feel bad?" Because I think what they're trying to do with this, and they're not doing it well. They're not doing a lot of showing. They're doing a lot of telling with this. Is that Fig and Cherry are both like having like breakdowns over this
Okay.
pickle thing. They feel responsible, they feel guilty, and they're trying to gauge if Apple also feels the same. So yeah, Cherry asks, "Do you feel bad?" And then Apple says, "No, I didn't push her. Did you?" And then Cherry says, "No, but everything's falling apart. Everything is just, it's all falling apart." So she's just feeling out of control, and Apple like walks away, apparently doesn't feel bad, doesn't feel like anything connects back to her. And the hex that they did. Cherry's, I think, closing up, and she sees the Jane Does detective doll with the binoculars. She takes that into the dressing room and does a confessional. And is this where we learn that the binoculars are actually camera?
I think so, because then we cut to Pumpkin like watching her
Yes. Then we cut
confessional.
to Pumpkin sitting in her car in the parking garage, and she's watching this
Yes.
scene play out. And so we learn this is another spy technique that Pumpkin has enlisted. She's now spying on the group. So Cherry uses this new doll for her Forgive Me, Marilyn, for I Have Sinned little confessional
Mhm.
scene. And she sits down in the dressing room, and she takes out a mini little bottle of alcohol from her purse, and she tips. I actually like this performance here. I think
Yeah,
she does a
again,
good job.
like she is like
She
chewing
does.
this up. She's doing so good. It's just like there's no like it's like if this were a standalone, like an audition, you'd be like amazing. But like as
Amazing.
part of this movie, you're like, what? Like this doesn't
No. I have her performance is good, but the dialogue is empty. So it's just
Yes.
like she's performing well.
It's
It's
like
just,
first draft dialogue for
yeah.
sure.
She pulls out this little, like, her little alcohol bottle, her little mini, tips it to the doll, and, like, kind of has this, like, I don't know, just this kind of like crying but smiling face this entire time. And she says, all my family died in that fire, and I let people think that I died too. So she's kind of just like disappeared and let people think she died.
It was all her family died in the fire, and she missed it
She,
because she was fucking the quarterback,
yeah,
like in a Arby's
in a
parking lot or
parking lot.
something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, we get no nuance, no dignity for this cutie.
God.
But she says, I don't really feel alive anymore, except when I'm with Apple. And she says, like, she's trying to, like, tie back to, like, well, but Apple's my friend. Like, I have Apple. So she just, like, I don't know. She keeps repeating this friendship line about Apple. She's like, I don't think men think I'm alive either. They must think it's fun to fuck a ghost. They don't care about me like Apple does. So it just feels a little empty. It's like, I see what you're trying to say, but it just doesn't, it's not very solid. It doesn't
And I
hold
feel
any
like
weight for
too,
me.
this is a good example of like I feel like in like all the marketing for this and like the trailer that we like so much, and I feel like even in some of the reviews, it's like I feel like they were going for like sapphic and like even this, like, oh, like I'm only happy when I'm with Apple. And like
Yeah,
I don't feel the way about Apple as I do about these men that I'm sleeping with. But then like nothing comes from that. And in fact, something almost does, and she's like repulsed by it. Like
exactly. It's so confused.
it's
I know.
so
I think
like
there's
it's
some
like
people
not
said like
gay at all.
yeah,
It's
this is not gay enough for a movie that presents like it's gonna
queer
be.
baiting. This is queer baiting
Yes.
during Pride Month, no less.
During Pride Month. How dare they? How dare they?
I was promised women loving women.
And she, I don't know, says some like sappy lines like, diamonds are a girl's best friend. And like giggling, like sad giggle. Like, you said that, Marilyn. Is Apple still my best friend? And then she says, I thought I could be her antidote, but she'll always be a cartoonish poison apple. And then she like,
Which we had. No, we didn't. I was thinking we had that in 9 to 5, but we didn't. We just had the skull, which I'm thinking of the poison
oh,
apple from
sure.
Snow White, but it wasn't an apple.
Yeah, I mean, she's in the Snow White dress, the poison.
Yeah.
Yeah. She drinks from her little bottle and then goes, she like immediately kind of gets into this like drunk, like
Yeah.
monologuing. Like, Apple. Now she has a story that's really interesting. And then, so, and mind you, Pumpkin's watching this whole thing. So how perfect
Perfect.
that now Cherry's just giving us all
The
this information.
reveal.
The
Uh-huh.
reveal is happening. This annoyed me. This feels lazy. Apple has a story that's really interesting. Cut to Apple in her car, and she's like, it's like this, compressed like shock. She's like laying on her makeshift bed in the back of her car. Her takeout boxes surround her. There's like, I was noticing these last few scenes. There's like those single serve like Kellogg's cereal. There's like an
Like
Apple Jacks
camping
one.
cereal.
Yeah, I'm like, are these
Cute.
like, did they sponsor? I don't know. There's like an
Applejack.
Apple Jacks one there. There's dried herbs hanging from the
Mm-hmm.
ceiling of the car, and there's like her socks are hung up on like a little line, little laundry line. Little witchy bottles everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Cut back to Cherry in the dressing room doing her confessional and says, Apple poisoned her dad. And then we get cut to Pumpkin, who's like excited to get this little bit of news. I'm so annoyed. It's so annoying. I hate this. Cherry then gets up. She's like clearly super distressed and is like crying, crying, pours a little bit of whatever's left in that little mini liquor bottle on her chest and
It's like a
light.
shot glass full of
Yeah. just
Gin.
on her bare skin, and like lights a lighter and holds the lighter to her chest as if she's gonna light this alcohol and kind of whimpers and then doesn't do it. Cut to Apple, who gets a phone call that she ignores, and we see that she has a bunch of missed calls from Mom. Next day, big storm warning. Mall hours might be affected. The girls are still show up to work. I think they're gathering in a break room. I was very confused what this room was.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen this room before. It felt
No.
pretty sparse.
It's like felt sparse, but also kind of like a college girl's apartment. So I
Yeah,
was
and I feel like
confused.
this maybe felt like the most like realistic space. Like this is like a break room. Like
Yeah. Yeah, when I looked closer, I'm like, oh, it's like a folding table and a microwave. And then I started realizing, like, oh, yeah, I think this is just their break room, but we just haven't seen it yet. Again, are they sponsored by the Kellogg's
are
cereal
they
bowls
again here?
and Poppy soda cans? Because there's
Poppy,
very
big
much product
placement.
placement of those things in this scene. Apple walks in. Oh, so it's in the room at the moment are Cherry and Pumpkin, and Cherry has brought her cat, who is called Shirley
Shirley
Temple,
Temple. Yeah.
and she's wearing dark black sunglasses and like a little like white handkerchief around
Presumably like
her.
she's hungover, right?
Yeah,
Like
she just doesn't look well.
yeah.
She looks very cute for not being well, and then Pumpkin's just like kind of standing drinking some tea off to the side. Apple comes in and is like carrying a box and is like upset that the cat is there. She's like, the cat, and some dumb line like the cat might destroy the monochromatic baskets or something like that. And then Pumpkin is allergic to cats, and so everyone's upset the cat is there. But
Like why were any of those lines said?
none of it,
doesn't-
yeah, I
doesn't
feel like
happen.
this is also pointless. It doesn't move us along at all. And Cherry's like, my cat's my mini me. And like, I'm bringing her today or something. But these next lines I do think were funny. Because Apple's holding this box and goes, everyone, please look at my icing by Ina. And she's like holding this box of cupcakes. Nobody moves. Nobody says anything. She's like super pissed, looking around. Everyone, please comment on my icing by Ina. And you can see she opens the box. There's these cupcakes, and they don't even look that great, I'll be honest.
No.
But there's cupcakes, and 4 of them each have a pumpkin, a cherry, a fig, and an apple on them. And Cherry and Pumpkin then give like a very stiff fake responses. Wow, icing by Ina. Wow, that's a nice box. And it's like your manager coming up with a pizza party when everyone's had a bad day.
Yeah. She's trying to smooth things over.
And Apple says, I know yesterday was whack, but it wasn't my fault. I Googled it, and Mercury is in retrograde, so there.
That line
Like,
also made me laugh. It's
nothing to
freaking
do
is
with
Lili
it.
Reinhart. It was like,
Yeah.
I know yesterday was whack.
yeah.
Like,
You know, it's kind of crazy.
it's like latte, stop. This is serious. It's like the same energy. Like yesterday was whack. Referring to someone committing suicide in front of you.
Then Fig busts in and says, I'm having a nervous breakdown. Apple says something like, well, yeah, like Mercury in retrograde. And she's like, no, it's hurricane season. Like, I walked here. This is crazy. We shouldn't be here, kind of freaking out. And then she sees the cat and she's like, why is the cat here? And Pumpkin says, well, Cherry is also having a nervous breakdown. And I thought this line was funny, especially how Victoria Pedretti delivers it. She goes, I went on a hot girl jog this morning. Could someone having a nervous breakdown go for a jog? I did think that was pretty funny because we do hold a lot of weight on our hot girl walks and jogs. Check on your friend if they're doing too many of those. I was confused in this scene because I think Pumpkin is being kind of a bitch to Cherry.
Yes.
And we know she just watched the confessional video from last night and saw.
So she shouldn't suspect Cherry of anything.
One, she shouldn't suspect Cherry of anything. Oh, is that like why she's doing it? I feel like this girl's under distress, like clearly not okay. And you'd think. But this is what confuses me. I don't know what Pumpkin's, like, how
No.
she feels about these other girls.
No.
So does she think,
Well, and I mean, we'll get to it, but I feel like there's a moment with the cat that's pretty crazy with
yes,
Pumpkin
exactly.
that I was like, she's trying to like test to see if Cherry knows
Oh,
anything. That's the only thing I could think of. But I'm like, why would
yeah.
Cher I feel like Apple, all eyes on Apple. Like you're suspecting Apple at
You
this
should be
point
suspecting Apple and all these other girls
because she
are
like
under
she
this.
poisoned her dad. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what I feel like her takeaway should be like, aha, I got this information about Apple. This
mhm.
condemns Apple and all of
Yeah,
our suspicions. But instead, she starts like antagonizing Cherry, which I'm
yeah,
like, is it just because Cherry's so close to Apple? Like, you obviously see that she's in this toxic
yeah.
friendship. So anyway, I didn't understand that. Apple brings everyone's attention back to these cupcakes and because like the girls start wanting to talk about what's going on. Fig wants to talk about pickle. And she's like, no, 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 stop. Let's not talk about that. Everyone just have your cupcakes. And then she force feeds everyone a cupcake. And Cherry does like a really funny, like, mmm, that's very good. Like trying so hard to please. Pumpkin then vomits what looks like Fruity Pebbles and milk into the cupcake box. So then everyone starts being like, the cupcakes are poison. And then they start referring to the cupcakes as eye by eyes instead of icing by Ina or
What
whatever.
was it? Eye by eyes.
Eye by eyes. Fig is freaking out. It's like, should we call Sharon? What should we do? Oh my God, this is bad. First pickle, now this. And then she says this line, you know it's bad when the scientist is scared.
I wanted to punch a hole through my TV. I was so mad.
Yeah, this line is so
You
annoying.
know it's bad with the scientist. Like, and again, this and her knowing the state bird of Texas is the only evidence we have of her being smart. Is that she says, I am a scientist, and that she says she knows the state bird. Oh, she also did get into grad
She will
school.
talk about getting into grad school later, so don't worry.
Okay, okay.
We've been told,
The
we'll have been told like
scientist.
3 times how smart she is. She's the smart friend. And then Cherry is like, can we have a sidebar, Apple? Have you girl bossed again? Like what you did to your dad? Which is referred to as girl
Girl
bossing.
bossing.
Apple freaks out, says, stop talking. And then cut to Pumpkin is just like vomiting into different boxes at this point. I don't know. There's all these like boxes and she keeps just vomiting into different ones. Who poisoned these cupcakes? Like everyone's wondering now. Apple's like, well, it couldn't have been the employee because she had some blackmail on her. Fig starts to get suspicious. Where was Apple and
Yeah,
where
it's like,
was
where were
Cherry?
you?
Where were you guys? Like they're starting to like point fingers at each other. Cherry like gets defensive and is like, well, where was Pumpkin when Pickle was pushed or when Pickle jumped? Maybe she's the snake. Maybe Pumpkin's the snake. And then Apple turns on Cherry and says, you're being so ugly right now. Apple calls for emergency paradise tonight. So they've got to quickly gather. They need to do another hex to eliminate the snake. Fig has a phone call with Norman, the new boyfriend, and she's like excited. She just got into grad school, so our scientist got into grad school, but she doesn't want the other girls to know about her life. So I have to tell you, I can't tell them. And then she says, oh, I don't know. The delivery of this felt so Disney Channel movie. I don't know. Don't come to Free Eden tonight. It's not going to be safe here. I will meet you at Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran.
We cut to Pumpkin drinking her tea and staring down at this cat. And then she like walks up to the cat and like kind of threatens to pour her tea on the cat until
Yeah,
Cherry
it's in like
runs
a little
in.
like bubble like a plastic suitcase
Backpack suitcase
with
thing, yeah.
holes poked in the top,
Yeah.
and she's like going like she's gonna pour it in the holes. Which now that we're talking about it, the vomit poison has already happened, so I have no idea why she's doing this.
It's like all we know is that she said she was allergic to cats, and then Cherry said of course you are, or something
Yeah.
sassy.
I think I was thinking like she was like, and this is a stretch. I don't know why I thought this, but like she was thinking that like like Cherry had given her tea, and so maybe the tea was poisoned. So she was gonna pour the tea on the cat, and then like, don't, it's poisoned. But I'm like, it's hot before it's poisoned. Like,
Yeah,
but I have no idea.
I
And like,
didn't.
why would she?
Yeah, I
And then
don't.
Cherry's like, no, 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 don't. And then she's like, like I got the reaction I thought I was gonna. It's like, of course she says don't pour the scalding hot tea on my cat.
On my cat. I don't understand Pumpkin at all. I don't know if we have to, like, what are we supposed to feel about her? I don't know.
No.
I don't understand the behavior.
And no, you don't like feel anything for her. She's
No.
like so one-dimensional.
Yeah. Cut to emergency paradise meeting. They're all sitting in a circle. Apple is wearing the red dress with like a dressing gown over it, and she has like a red veil. And I feel like they were trying to give us like Suspiria something. I feel like we've watched all the right movies leading up to this
Yes.
movie. And so we like can point out like references or be like, that's hinting at this. And then and I think that's what makes it extra disappointing. Anyways, they're sitting in this circle, and Apple leads the emergency paradise by saying, as we all know, our Marilyn Monroe was killed by the US government because after being with our John F. Kennedy, she knew too much. She was underestimated for her beauty and perfectly placed mole. She had to be eliminated. She was the feminine sacrifice, and we can't let her death be in vain. So I understand they're like making fun of like like girls that say they're like witchy with like they're just hodgepodging like feminine energy crystals, like stuff like that. But I don't know. I think I just like with the chanting and stuff. I don't know. It just feels a little silly. But she pulls out. They like have this whole thing. She has a meat cleaver and she's sharpening it with a knife sharpener. And she looks around at the girls and she says, the question remains, who is our JFK? Is it you, Fig? Is it you, Cherry? Who is the traitor?
This pissed me off too. I feel like the like, who's our JFK? I feel like they thought they like ate so hard with that.
And they didn't.
Well, they didn't.
They didn't. They left us wanting. She's upset. Nobody's saying anything. So she goes, we have to do something. We have to make a sacrifice. And so we're going to sacrifice the cat.
Shirley Temple.
The Shirley Temple cat. What the heck? And so Fig and Cherry just freaking out now. Why are we doing this? Fig has had enough. She gets up. She's ready to walk out. She's like, I don't even want to be part of this coven anymore. And Cherry's like, this is a coven? And then they all look at her like, yeah, of course this is a coven. I don't know. Dumb, dumb, dumb. And then Fig is just like, I actually got into grad school, so I don't need you guys. I'm leaving. And Cherry starts like begging Fig to stay and says like, you don't have to leave. You're not the snake. And like kind of looks over at Pumpkin, implying that Pumpkin is. Because like Pumpkin's been acting weird, so I don't blame Cherry for like being like, you tried to kill my cat earlier, even though Apple was like literally also trying to kill the cat now. Fig says, I told Pumpkin about Pickle. I'm the one that did that. Cherry, can't you see that Apple is poison? So I think this was like the last straw. Fig is like, Apple is the poison one among us. We can't trust her. In this very moment, Norman comes in to rescue Fig because he's like, wait, you're not safe. I know you told me not to come, which means it's not safe here. I need to come get you. And the truth comes out. Fig's name is Emily. She ends up declaring her love for Norman. While this is going on, Cherry gets the meat cleaver. And in this moment, she gets up for some reason and starts rushing at them and saying, he's the snake. But as she's running at them, she trips and the cleaver slams into Norman's head. We get a look at him. There's blood gushing
I feel
out.
like
It's
what's
like,
funny here is it happens really fast. She's like rushing him. She trips. She's like, as she's coming into frame, he turns and I think he says, "Nice to meet you."
I think you're right.
And then immediately gets the
Immediately,
cleaver in the cheek.
cleaver cheek wedged in there. And then I have Fig and Norman run off stage because it
Yes.
literally just feels like they're like, ah,
Stage right.
ah, and then run out. And that's it.
There's also,
And
oh, go ahead.
no, no, no.
I was just gonna say, there's also so many annoying things we're not saying, like the fact that it comes up multiple times that Figs loves that Norman is named Norman because Psycho is her favorite movie, and like he's such a mama's boy, and that's why he was named. Like that comes up multiple times, and so I feel like they're being like, look how spooky this is.
Yeah.
It's so
There's-
dumb. Stuff like that. That's peppered throughout. Little
It's
things
just
like
peppered
that.
throughout. There's so many things. I am skipping some dialogue that just like is not helpful or just we're bringing up the most hated dialogue and the most like the ones that were like, okay, that's kind of funny though. They've run off and Cherry turns around and she's just like, I tripped. But then she starts to put things together like, wait a second. If I did that, surely we don't have to sacrifice Shirley Temple anymore. And she starts like packing up her cat, like putting it in the backpack suitcase thing for her cat. And then she starts running after Fig and Norman with Shirley Temple.
I think he
And-
runs down the stairs and is like, Fig, I feel like things are changing and I don't want them to, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And she starts running after her. Pumpkin is like, what did you do to Apple? And like, what has happened? You've done this, and runs after them too. Everyone's left the room except for Apple, who fury fills her eyes, her whole being, and she gives us a big fuck.
Which
and then,
is so good.
yeah, it like shakes the room, tears her dress off, and then we cut to like, it's the view of the Barbie cam. And there's clothes being thrown. She's like rage throwing clothes into the room. And then she walks back into the camera, the Barbie cam, with sweats and a little baby tee on. And she rips the tags off. And then looks over into the camera view and says, "Sorry you had to see me like that, Marilyn." And then looks closer.
And this is this red blinking light coming through her trench coat.
Yeah.
Record light.
Yeah, red blinking light. Like, obviously this is recording, but she gets up closer and goes, "Is this recording?" And I will note here that the baby tee she puts on, which I'm sure everyone thought this was the cleverest thing, says, "Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die." That was the name of the play that this is based on, right? So she's wearing that for the rest of the duration of the film.
Ugh.
She's now discovered she's being recorded, or at least thinks she might be.
Right.
Cut to Apple now confronting Pumpkin, and they're like out in the mall now.
Which the mall's,
These
like,
girls are the
deserted, right?
Huh?
The mall's like deserted at this
Yes,
point,
the mall's
right?
completely deserted. That's what I was gonna say. These women, these girls are the only people in the mall. Cherry is like running around, like trying to find Fig, who's nowhere to be seen. She just like keeps like kind of like like running through the background of this scene. Pumpkin is trying to call her mom. She wants to get home, but she doesn't have signal. The mall is going to go into lockdown. Apple's like, "You're not going to be able to leave. This mall's going to go on lockdown. The cell towers go down. You won't be able to call your mom." And Pumpkin's like, "I will find a way out of here. I'm going to get to my mom and I will come back for you guys. I promise." She does not make it out. The like lockdown, whatever, like gates come down. She can't get out in time. But she gets a hold of Fig on a walkie-talkie. At this time, we see that Fig is outside of the mall and she has just sent Norman off to the ER in an ambulance. presumably locked outside the mall. And on the walkie-talkie, Pumpkin's saying, you need to call 911, which she clearly already has because the ambulance came and
They're
left.
just right there. They're just 30 feet away.
They're just right there. But she's like, no, I'm coming in there. And Pumpkin's like, no, call 911. And then Fig is like, no. I remember in the employee handbook, there's secret tunnels beneath the mall. So I'll just go through those and get in. And it works because she shows up later. The secret tunnels work. And they were in the employee handbook. So it's fine. Meanwhile, we're having a friendship breakdown, fall apart between Apple and Cherry. Apple just is like, Cherry, you are so manipulative. You're always making yourself a victim. All of this like language very much projecting at Cherry. And Cherry's like, wait, we're not best friends anymore? And then Apple's like, no, you're terrible. You broke shine theory, which is like the first rule.
Says, I don't believe in hierarchy in female relationships.
Right.
Which Lili Reinhart is pulling it off.
She's pulling it off. She's doing a really great job. Again, I think these lines are just not good. Just trash. She's telling Cherry that Cherry broke their shine theory and has now dimmed all of their glows. You ruined paradise. It's all over. You just had to self-destruct, and it is so unattractive. And then Cherry, I think, has a moment of realization and says, you killed your dad, Apple. And then Apple says, so what? At least I'm not fucking boring, which is Cherry's greatest fault, most unattractive quality. I am editing this down, believe it or not. But Cherry says, you're the snake and you chose to be alone. I'm alone because my family died, but you like left all of yours. Like you choose to be alone. You push everyone away. And Apple's like, you know nothing about my family. Cherry says, I do, and I feel sorry for you. Why do you hurt the people that love you the most? And I think this line was supposed to hit. But Apple says, you can't trust the people who say they love you the most. And then Cherry says, that's the most fucked up thing I've ever heard. And Apple kind of is like, well, that's life kind of thing. And again, Lili Reinhart delivering. She's doing so well with what she has with these crumbs. But I don't know. I felt nothing. Like, Cherry feels some sense of freedom, some sense of release. And she goes, well, since we're not best friends anymore, I can go back to being who I am. Boring. And boring people don't keep secrets. The world deserves to know who you really are. And so then she tries to run, but this is when Apple stops her, grabs her face, and then kisses her. Just like a very, like, smack, like, lips smack together kiss. And Cherry, is, like, repulsed by this and, like, confused by this.
Yeah, she's like, what the fuck? And, like,
are you high?
reels back,
Yeah. Like, what was that? And then they just kind of, like, stare at each other for a moment. Not gay enough. That's
not
what the
gay
people...
enough.
Come on. And then Apple kind of like giggles, like laughs, and then grabs a mannequin arm, like this like separated mannequin arm, and just hits her over the face with the arm. Hits Cherry. And then she like tries to pull like the like closed door, the like trap Cherry in the store. But then Cherry's like, they have a little fight here, and Cherry's able to like spit on Apple's face, which makes her stop fighting, and Cherry runs away. And then we enter what I think is one of the dumbest chase scenes ever.
Yeah.
And we just have Apple chasing Cherry around the store. Meanwhile, Pumpkin is running around trying to get signal with her phone, and just feels again like very like, I don't know.
I feel like this feels like made up stakes, and maybe that's why it feels weird. Is like, why is the thing Pumpkin's dealing with in all this like trying to get service to call her mom?
Yes.
Like, to what end? She's in the mall. She's safe. It's not like I don't know. Like, I know there's a storm, but like, it's not like, oh, her mom needs her to get to her, or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You've lived in Texas your whole life, presumably. She mentions like, I need to get to my mom. We have a closet. We stand in
Yes.
together. But like, there's no like, we've never heard her mom's voice. We don't know anything about her.
No.
And so like the fact that like this is what she's dealing with in in this moment is so dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. I think that's exactly right. It feels made up. It feels forced. Then we get a little, I guess, maybe nod to Suspiria. We have thunder, wind getting crazy outside, and then like the glass ceiling of the mall starts to crack. And that's it's just weird and kind of cheesy looking.
Right.
Cherry has run up on the escalator, or she's like on the downward moving escalator.
And we
And
remember from Schrodinger's escalator.
Schrodinger's escalator.
Famous. You're
You
not
all
supposed
know
to
what we're
wear
talking about.
heels on Schrodinger's escalator.
The literary girls here. She gets her bootlace stuck in the like escalator teeth, and she's trying to untie her laces, but
Schrodinger's fake nails.
Schrodinger's nails. Her nails are too long. She can't untie the laces. She's freaking out. The escalator is going down, and she is attached to it. Fig comes running in. She made it through the underground tunnels. Like, it wasn't a problem that she was locked outside of the mall for a moment.
Didn't need to be said.
She comes in. I don't know if she knocks it or there's like a tree that falls, like an indoor tree and a planter that falls and breaks the bottom cover of where like the escalator stairs go. So the
This
escalator
is like
won't.
very Final Destination.
Yes.
It like pops open and you can see all the gears
You can see the
like grinding
gears.
together.
Exactly. Fig tries to do like the emergency stop button. It's not working. It's not stopping. So she runs up on the other escalator and tries to grab Cherry's arm, thinking that might help. But of course they like pass like two ships in the night, and Fig is going up. Cherry's going down still. So Cherry does what only she can do to get that shoe off. She breaks her nail off her finger. And we get this very little bloody, gory, girly body horror moment, I guess. And then she is able to untie the lace. We think she's escaping. She's scrambling up the escalator. We see her shoe get all chewed up at the bottom. But before she can get to the top and escape, she trips, busts her face, tooth falls out. She like looks over, just like bloody face, says, "I'm okay. I just tripped." And then her hair gets stuck in the escalator. It's so annoying. Apple is watching this. Pumpkin finally shows up. Pumpkin runs to find the breaker, and then Fig looks over at Apple and says, "If you don't do something to help, I'll tell everyone you did it," which is enough for Apple to run down the escalator and reach her arm out and try to help. As she does this, Cherry looks up and says, with her bloodied face, missing teeth, "Am I the main character now?" This kind of pissed me off. I see they were dropping crumbs earlier. I just felt like the tension was off for this friendship the whole time for this to really land. I don't know if you felt the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, she can't be helped. She's stuck. Her toes, foot, whole leg then gets chomped up in the gears at the bottom of the escalator. And then as her arm is slipping out of Apple's reach, Apple takes her charm bracelet off her wrist, and we just see her like arms swing around as the rest of her body's getting mangled and chomped up by the escalator. We get these very bloody, meaty, messy shots as the escalator finally shuts off. And Apple and Fig have a moment to just stop and breathe. Pumpkin arrives, couldn't find the breaker. Fig starts running and saying, "Pumpkin, we have to go." She's now very scared of Apple. But before Fig can go anywhere, a shard of glass falls from the windows in the ceiling and lands perfectly upright in the center of her head. And then we get a shot from the back, a practical effect of a head being split in half. And I think this was nodding to the original Suspiria movie, but Suspiria was so much more charming and effective than this movie for many reasons. So just putting that there.
And I feel like especially since this was billed as like a dark horror comedy situation, and to have all of the gory parts happen at the end, like
Yeah.
like everything happens right now, and it was like, I don't know, it not like it felt maybe it felt gratuitous. It was just like we had the Emma Chamberlain brain on the floor, and then we had Cherry cutting her finger, and like then that's it until this. And so I don't know, it just felt like tonally a little different.
Yeah. No, agreed. Apple seems just mildly startled from this scene. Pumpkin is freaking out, screaming. Apple, like, pulls out this very friendly attitude and says, "Let's go wash off." And she leads Pumpkin to the mall fountain and gets in and starts, like, splashing water on herself. She now has blood splattered all over this white baby tee. Pumpkin keeps saying, like, stupid stuff to distract Apple so that she can prop up the detective doll with the binoculars. And we see her trying to connect her phone. Eventually
That
it
was
connects.
really stupid too, her trying to prop up the doll and be like, "Find us a penny, make a wish." Like,
Ugh. I was annoyed.
and
It was
Apple was
annoying.
cute. I did like the part where she's like, "Oh, I found one." Then she's like, "Oh, it was just a nickel." And she goes, "If I had a nickel for every nickel." Which I like to think was Lili Reinhart just ad-libbing.
Just ad-libbing. No, Lili Reinhart, again, and she will do her big one. She does very well.
Coming.
It's coming. Anyway, we get connected. We are being recorded in this last scene. Pumpkin gets in the water in the fountain with Apple, and then Apple, like, kind of starts, like, bathing her and then braiding her hair, which I think was something that Pumpkin had mentioned she wanted. They're both kind of looking in the same direction. Apple is behind Pumpkin, braiding her hair, but they start talking, and Pumpkin asks, "Do you know who I am?" And then Apple, very excited, says, like, "Oh, you finally asked." And we learn that they are sisters. But Pumpkin, I know. Surprise! They are actually sisters the whole time. So they're sisters. Pumpkin has only recently found out about Apple, though. So she was like, "I only found out about you right before my dad died," which is also Apple's dad. But Apple apparently always knew about Pumpkin, like always knew about the other family. It's not detailed what this scenario was. Apple says about their moms, well, it's not their fault. They both married a monster. And Pumpkin says, "A monster? Dad was my best friend." So we have the one girl who her experience with this man was he abandoned their family. And the other girl's experience was like, he was my best friend. He was everything. Apple was very jealous of this other family. And all of that happened, very upset that her dad abandoned them. So then Pumpkin asks, "Did you do it?" And Apple says, "It's not about what I did. He's the bad guy. Like, he's the one that abandoned us. I've given you everything." She says this to Pumpkin. "Why won't you choose me?" And Pumpkin says, "Because I don't know you. I've been trying to get to know you these last few months." And this is where I get confused. This, like, breaks down for me because I'm like, I didn't understand what either of them wanted from each other.
They didn't give us we couldn't have figured this out. Like there was no way to have figured this out. And I feel like watching it the second time, I feel like with things like this, it's so fun to watch it the second time because you're like, oh my God, it was right there. Like we should have known. But
Yeah.
you can't figure it out. They don't give you enough information. And so when it's like, oh my God, our dads died. Our dads both died last year. We have no idea when either of their dads died.
Right.
And like especially with Pumpkin, who loved her dad, we don't get a sense that it was recent. Like, and there's no, like, I feel like we just know Apple's dad's dead and she killed him, and then Pumpkin's dad's dead. And there's no like, and like, my dad had another family. There's no like, my dad cheated on my mom and had another kid. Like, there's no breadcrumbs left for us to figure it out. So when it happens, you're like, what? Like, I felt like I missed something the first time we watched this, and then rewatched it and we didn't miss anything. And I feel like too, with like, to your point about like, what do they want? Like when Pumpkin is like, dad was my best friend, like he wasn't a monster. It's like, we don't know Pumpkin. We don't know her mom. We don't care about her best friend relationship with her dad. So I'm like, he is an asshole. He had two families. Like, you
Yes.
didn't know him, obviously. Like, I'm not like
Sympathizing with
her at
exactly.
all.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm sympathizing with Apple, if anyone, which maybe was the point. I could see that being the point, but
Yeah,
I didn't make that distinction enough at all.
Exactly. It's very unsatisfying.
But I'll tell you what is satisfying. Lili Reinhart.
Lili Reinhart, though. Pumpkin then says, like, just tell me who you are. Sister to sister, trying to appeal to this, like, oh, we're sisters. Which tips Apple off. And she does this, like, really great, like, oh my God. Like, her blink, blink eyes.
Uh-huh.
You're the snake. You've been spying on me. She figures it all comes together for Apple. You've been spying on me this whole time. You knew, like, enough. You're
How
trying
nice
to
that
get
this
me.
whole time Apple was never trying to like get Pumpkin. Like she never suspected her of anything. Like it seems like she knew she was her sister.
Yeah,
Like the whole time. So she was just like trying to get close to her.
that's it.
And like
Yeah,
Pumpkin's the asshole.
exactly. Then they have this silly fight in the pond, in the fountain, where they're kind of like chasing each other around,
All
falling
slow.
in. I'm just in circles in the fountain. There's like more dialogue for some reason. Apple's like, Pumpkin, you crave chaos. This wouldn't have happened if you hadn't shown up. I've lost the plot of what Apple wanted from Pumpkin. I have no idea. They start wrestling in the pond, and Apple's like, you're just like them. And
Again, these are just words.
they're just words. Pumpkin's like, I am. I'm nothing like you. They're slipping. Pumpkin hits Apple's leg, and it's enough to make Apple fall over and hit her head. She gets knocked out for a moment, sits up, her head's bleeding, and Pumpkin is concerned, kind of moves toward her, and then Apple turns on Pumpkin and starts to choke her out. The camera shot moves so that it's as if Apple is choking the audience, and we get this like nice close up. She's like crazy eyed, crying, and I think this is really great.
This is so good. It's so dumb and like campy and bad. It's like she is devouring this shitty dialogue.
Yes.
It's like she is doing such, and like her emotions are changing like so.
It's really good.
It's so good, and she's just the whole time just like choking us, which is cool.
Can you? Yeah. This is the gayest part.
This is the gayest part. This is as gay as it gets.
No, it's great. This is a remarkable performance. Can you imagine if she had great dialogue to go along with it?
Imagine. It would be too much.
Yeah, be too much. She says, he poisoned me first. I feel like I have to like
do it. Do it.
No,
please.
I'll do my best. Okay.
I feel like this is gonna be me when I was doing Lily Tomlin.
Me doing Lili Reinhart. I'm gonna be so
have to do it.
embarrassed. Okay, she's grabbing you like this. She's like, okay, let me get my lines up. He poisoned me first. A childhood filled with his venom. And then she like breaks into this child like when you're crying when you're a kid, or like
Yeah, it's like trembly.
it's like your most like Mom? Like she like reverts. Mom, why won't you just let me protect you? Why do you hate me for saving you? And it's like this crying, like very emotional,
Like gasping for
yeah,
breath.
little breaths. Why do you hate me? And then she repeats over and over again, I needed to kill him. I needed to kill him. And then like kind of dials in on Pumpkin. I needed to kill him. And you're just like him. And then she switches like, no, you're just like her. You're abandoning me just like my mom did for eliminating a monster. These lines mean nothing, but she delivers. I am the antidote. I am Eve. And then she gives like a little laugh. Like, yeah, exactly. What? None of it means anything.
What?
I am reborn. And like, I guess this is her like finishing out, like killing Pumpkin. And she looks over and she sees the doll recording her. And she says, forgive me, Marilyn, for I have sinned. And then she steps out of the fountain. We see her like little feet. And as she walks away, kind of like shaken, trembling, we see that Pumpkin has died and is just laying face down in the
I
fountain.
tell you what, I forgot Pumpkin died until the second watch. I forgot. I thought Apple died. I was shocked.
You never know where this movie's going. Then we cut to a desert road scene, Apple's car. The car is then in a new mall parking lot. She steps out. She's looking horrible. She goes into this new mall, orders a pumpkin spice latte. They ask her if she wants whipped cream. And she says, abso-fucking-lutely I do. And then she sits down, dead-eyed, overhears and sees these three girls pick up their coffee orders, and they all have flower names. They're opening up their retail store. They forgot to grab their cake pop. An Apple grabs it for them, hands it to the main lead girl, and this girl turns around to take the cake pop and says, oh my God, I love your bracelet. Pan down to those red nails from the beginning, but now Apple's nails are all chipped and bloodied. We see her charm bracelet, and then we pan down to the other girl's arm, and she has a charm bracelet, but this time with flowers. And then she calls to her two other girls, Flowers, come here, look at this. And then looks back at our crazed Apple and says, are you looking for a job, babe? And then those girls walk off, and we have Lili Reinhart, like, stand up straight, kind of fix her face in a way, like put her hands up against her eyebrows, and we get like a slight smile again from her. Cut to credits. And then you think the movie's over, and you're out, and you're free. And then there's an end credit scene, which may have pissed me off more than everything else in this movie. We're back at the mall, the original mall. Gabrielle Union walks into this scene as Sharon.
Gabrielle Union. Oh my God. It's like a freaking Marvel movie.
It's
like
so,
the reveal.
yes, exactly. The cinematic universe of Forbidden Fruits just keeps continuing. This is like Gabrielle Union is walking into the crime scene, which is where Pumpkin has just died in the fountain. The cops are trying to stop her. But no, no, no. She's not Sharon, the manager.
Hmm.
She is Sharon Sullivan, Dallas PD Homicide Unit.
She's been working undercover on this
She's been
case
working
for a
undercover for
while.
months. Her and freaking Pumpkin. And she just did not think Apple would kill her own sister. She finds the doll that's still sitting there. She's like, the recording, the victim's phone. Where is it? Ah, here it is. I think we got her. Like, all the evidence is right here. And then, like, they're like, ma'am, what do you think? She's like, let's get back up. They're like, where do you think she's gone? I don't know, but I think I might know where to start. Detective music comes up as she walks out.
Walking out. Forbidden Fruits 2 when
Ugh.
it was dumb. It was dumb, and I wanted it to be good.
I think that's it. We wanted it to be good so badly.
It was dumb. The Gabrielle Union reveal was insulting. I feel like you're right. It was so much like, what'd you say? It's like talking down. It was so talking down. Like, and I don't want to say, I don't want to accuse Gen Z of not having media literacy, but I feel like if you buy what they're selling when it comes to this movie, like, that's on you. Like, they're not selling something good. And if you're like gobbling it up and like, they ate, yes, like a Slumber Party classic, I'm like, do better. There's better stuff than this. Like, I don't know. I felt insulted.
I was insulted. I was pissed off. And we've now talked for like 4 hours.
4 hours that are
Great.
rage.
One
I
big
mean, yeah,
rant.
let me pull up the letterbox. So yeah, our first reviews are 4 stars. On Wednesdays we don't have sex. Things like that. Like all they're like all references to other things. Like on Wednesdays we don't have sex is like a reference to Mean Girls, right? Like on Wednesdays we wear pink. Next review, Victoria Pedretti looks like she's auditioning for Oklahoma. That's a Euphoria reference. 3.5 stars. Next review, 4 stars. Dark Betty doesn't die. She reinvents herself. That's a Riverdale reference. Like they're all like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes. They can't even like be like, I liked this movie. They're just like
Right, because it
attaching it
doesn't
to other
stand
things.
on it. It can't stand on its own. I don't know. People will say cinema is dead, and then Forbidden Fruits gives us goat's milk, thigh gaps, rose petals, bone cat. Like things can be
No.
camp and be good. Things can be dumb and be good. Like
Yes. We loved. Okay,
I
well,
love it.
this made me want to rewatch Jennifer's Body because I'm like, we really liked that one.
I feel like I liked Jennifer's Body more than you did. I feel like you felt a little like about some of the dialogue, which I get, but I feel like I was coming at it more from a like it was a certain time and place, you
Yeah,
know. I think
yeah.
that movie came out when I was in high school, which it is so hard to like watch things completely suspended of like it was a different time. Like you can never like put yourself completely in that other time. But I feel like this is this time. This movie is right this
This
minute,
is right now.
and it's still
If I
like
don't like it now,
I
I
don't
don't
like it.
know.
I
Yeah.
don't like it. It's like, yeah, it feels it's like the TikTok shop of movies. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like it. Yeah, it felt like, like vertical format movies, how people joke about like, I'll make it on vertical format. I feel like
Yeah.
this is like vertical format gone horizontal.
Yeah.
Like,
No, and that's like why I feel like the dialogue really didn't work for me because I felt like I'm like, you just want little clips. You want
mhm.
these like one-liners detached of anything.
But that worked for a lot of people,
It
apparently.
did.
Like,
It
people with
did.
no attention span. And like how many people were like double screening, like on their phone too. And so like it didn't matter that like the plot didn't really make sense. Like
Yeah.
just have Lili Reinhart come in like a cunty little outfit and like say something and they're like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
her." Like, I don't know.
Brr.
So frustrated. But
Hmm.
I'm glad we both hated it.
Yeah, can you imagine if one of us loved it?
My favorite movie from Fruits. I'm so bummed because I was so excited, but you know what? I did put on our letterboxd. I said, get the same person who edited the trailer to edit the movie and we'll talk. And that's how I feel about this.
Yeah, you sent me the trailer and I was like, yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
Um, well,
Well, that's Forbidden Fruits.
that's
Everyone. Sorry.
that's forbidden. Sorry. Sorry if you liked it.
Sorry, either way.
Sorry either way. Um, all right. But we have a third movie to wrap up this little trio of films. So to remind you, we watched 9 to 5 first, and then we watched this other workplace horror, Forbidden Fruits. Next movie I picked because of the title, I feel really describes the previous two movies, which is Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown.
Yeah.
This one came out in 1988, and we believe this is a Spanish film. It's directed by Pedro Almodovar. Yeah.
I'm so excited. This is one that like I feel like you've just like heard of forever and
Yeah. It's time to do
never
it.
seen. I'm so excited, and then
No,
I'm
I'm
very excited to try and pick a theme because I feel like this one really threw us from where we thought it was going to be connecting.
I know. We had really loose connection points to 9 to 5. So we need a third one to get us all tied together. All right.
I can't wait. I
Can't wait. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. 3, 2, 1. Bye.